Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see, or not if you can see, if you can hear me. Let's start there. And then we're going to go ahead and jump right in as soon as we confirm that everybody's good to go. All right, we got some thumbs up going on in stream. I'm guessing there's about a little bit of lag. But you know what? Looks like that we're not getting any audio here. Give me just 1 second here. Welcome, Steph, and welcome, Geeks and Nerds. Geeks and Nerds, I did see you at one point. You went ahead and subscribed. I've never actually seen you in here before, so thanks for joining. I don't know if you like this game, this Agatha Christie game. Something that we've been enjoying, kind of tackling our way through, just so that we can try to figure out at this moment. We'll probably have to remember all the names of the characters, but anyways. All right. So if we continue game, oh, we do have some desktop audio. All right, let's keep going here then. All right. So jumping back in here, guys, we have this guy's the butler, whose name I cannot immediately remember.
Anything I can do to help, Detective?
Archibald. Oh, we didn't get here. Let's hop back out here.
Discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
So at the end of the last episode, this guy got murdered. He's like a major or something like that. And he was the one that the headmistress, I think her name is Cassandra, that she was reliant on. When there was issues with the family. She did not trust us and our detective skills. So anyways, let's jump back in here and
Anything I can do to help.
all right. I believe I've collected all the necessary information and evidence, and I would like to inspect his adjoining bedroom.
As you wish.
It is clear the reason for entering the major's study was not to make haste with his valuables. What I must understand is if the intent for murder was there. The study has been manipulated following the major's death, meaning they had time to return to the scene and attempt to cover their tracks. The perpetrator entered through the bedroom. Perhaps there's something they failed to clean up behind them that can make sense of all of this. I should review what clues the study yielded before I continue. Oh, we've got a new mind map. If the killer still resides in the house, I must approach everyone with not only caution, but suspicion. Got it. Okay, so we've got a piece of paper here. Let's check this out. Another letter addressed to the major. It appears he has someone looking out for his business concerns with the workers' strike? ? Felix, I understand that there are a number of business concerns for you in the situation that has arisen within the factories, but I offer this piece of advice. Step back. Monsieur Becker's efforts within the union have finally opened the workers' eyes, and they demand the fair treatment they deserve for so long. The fuel for the fire has already been laid, and the match is ready to be struck. You do not want to be near those flames when they ignite. I know that you were once a good, honorable man. I pray that is still true today. I must Let's get our words together. I must review the information I have gathered from each guest today. There may be something that will help reveal the identity of the letter's author. Okay, so does that mean... Wrong button. All right, it's been a little while. That's the same button, apparently. Anything else? While I try to remember what the button is that we use to go into the mind maps. Oh, it's up there in the top left-hand corner, isn't it? Oh, here's the names of all the people. That's convenient. So Steph, when I say in the future that I don't remember somebody's names, you just remind me this is here. Angeline is the daughter, and yes, Cassandra was and the name of the dead guy is Felix. Got it. All right, here's our mind map. All right, we do have a link in this mind map. You can see that for those of you, if you might be joining us for the first time. Chapter 3, it says in the top left-hand corner, underneath that, it shows like a little chain, and it shows that there is one link. So we would be able to link together some clues in that one. This one still doesn't have any. This one is completed, and this one does not have any either. So let's hop into this one really quickly. Wonder if this is the one. All right, so here you can see we found this demanding letter, and then Hugo's positive work is mentioned, and there's a warning about upcoming strikes. Also, the killer may still be in the building. All right, let's see here. Ernesto supports the family. I only vaguely remember this guy, but Cassandra was reluctant to say, but she did confirm that Ernesto supports them financially. I thought that was largely a lot of Major Felix. Maybe that's why. Maybe the killer's still in the building because Ernesto wants to, he doesn't want Felix to be involved. I doubt that's probably the link, though. Let's be honest. There's nothing really that would, It's not a simple burglary. Ernesto was a business partner. Apparently you remember more than I do, Steph, since the last time we played this. Let's try to link these two. So there is a warning about upcoming strikes, and that is kind of what led Sherlock. Sherlock's a different game, which I actually do have. And I've got something installed with Sherlock Holmes in my Steam games, but this is not it. This is the Agatha Christie character. But anyways, he did mention that there is upcoming strikes, and that might be why the killer is still in the building.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Or maybe I misunderstood that. Okay. This, of course, is the soon-to-be brother-in-law. So Cassandra's getting ready to get married. She's getting married to this guy, whose name is Gideon Demir. This is his brother, Zechariah Demir. They used to be well off, and based on what Zechariah has told us, they are no longer as well off as you would expect. Here's also Margot. She is somebody that keeps flirting with me. If I remember correctly. All right, Hugo is a union leader. Oh, and there would be a warning about upcoming strikes.
Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically.
Okay, maybe that's the reason for the heated discussion, though.
Is there something?
Okay, normally once you get about 3 of them, you get the blinky blinkies. Which show you which ones are supposed to be paired. So it looks like Hugo's positive work is mentioned and Gideon is a supporter of the unions. If there is a link between this, I'll be interested to find out what his take on it is, because I don't recall specifically what Gideon had to say about it. All right, so
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
apparently we need to play this a little more frequently, guys. So those of you that are in chat right now, you need to remind me we need to make sure to get through this a little faster. All right, the only other union supporter I know that is passionate enough to write such a letter is Monsieur Gideon. All right. So there's no additional links now, but that should mean that we should be able to go investigate some more stuff. All right. It seems Madame Vandenbosch's heart is a trophy worth fighting over. Wonder what makes him say that. Oh, there's a letter. Major Hagen. I hope you will excuse my bluntness and plain speaking, but there is a matter regarding Madame Vandenbosch that requires not only our attention, but a level of understanding and respect between us both. I am fully aware of the help that you have offered to not only Madame, but her family and household. I'm also aware that you know of the assistance that I have given to Madame and the Viscount before her. We were friends and business partners, and I felt it my duty to continue to give aid and keep the Vandenbosch family, or the Vandenbosch name, at the standing that it has always been. Having said that, it is not always as simple to keep business and personal matters separate, and this is how I find myself today. Cassandra and I share a bond that one does not experience often in their lifetime. No doubt you have felt similar, but that may be what may be lust to one man is love to another. While I respect you for your efforts in the war and the generosity you showed, Madame, I must request you step back from what you consider to be your duties at the house and allow for Madame to make her choice, the choice that I believe is obvious to all parties. I trust this correspondence remains for your eyes only, and a gentleman's agreement is enough to guarantee our arrangement. Ooh, scandalous. She's got 2 lovers. It is a rather bold move to challenge the Major, as they have, especially with his position at the house. Oh, hunting rifle on the wall. This could be the weapon that brought down some of the impressive animals that now fill the walls. Could also be used to take down Major Felix, except I think, did we determine he was, yeah, Geeks and Nerds, I'm not sure if this was... I've not actually read the book, but there is supposed to have been... I mean, this is an Agatha Christie character, and she, of course, does write books. And so, I don't know, are you actually familiar with this particular storyline? I'm guessing you've read this book? The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Maybe I should have read the book. Then I'd know all the answers. Plants lean and rely on each other to survive, something we as a species could take lessons from. That is true. A rather threatening letter has been penned addressed to Major F. Hagen. Another one? Good Lord, nobody likes this guy. Dear Major F. Hagen, I did not think I would ever find myself writing a letter such as this, but under the current circumstances, I see no other option. Madame Vandenbosch and I have been friends from... Wait. Oh, no, this is a different one. That is why I can no longer sit back and allow your bullying to continue. I am well aware of the companionship you have offered to my good friends over the years. It has been most generous, and without it, I care not to think what would have happened to her. But that does not give you the opportunity to act in such a foul and boorish manner. The day the Viscount passed, I promised that I would protect both Cassandra and Angeline, and it is a promise I will keep. You were once a major in the British Armed Forces, but your actions have mirrored that of drunken fools who holds no place in our society, let alone Madame's house. Please do not bother yourself with a response. There is not a question that requires an answer, only a hope that you see your errors and adjust them accordingly. The author speaks of bullying, and although no specifics are noted, any form of that treatment towards a woman is not acceptable. Oh, the audiobooks are on YouTube. Maybe I should listen to them. I do like audiobooks. They're a great way to pass time when you're traveling from place to place, like work and appointments and those kinds of things. Mounted animal head. I am not sure how I would fare coming face to face with such beasts. Yeah, a bear of that size, I don't want to come face to face with it either. What is this? Drinks globe. Yeah, you pop the top open on a globe and it's a minibar. There we go. I wonder how many travel expeditions have been planned while enjoying the contents of the globe. Yeah, I thought so too, Steph. You said the letters are probably from Ernesto. I don't disagree, since we were just kind of looking and said that the... So let's actually go in and see if that happens to be the case. Oh, hey, Steph, that's the F key. All right, so let's hop into the mine links. Yes, there are 2 more links in this mine map. All right, so love for Cassandra's mentioned, and a mention of helping the family. So where is Ernesto in this? We saw him before. Okay. Here. Mention of helping the family, and Ernesto supports the family. Makes sense, right?
Magnifique.
Yay! That unlocked a new conversation. If there's something between Ernesto and Madame Vandenbosch, Archibald will surely know of it. So we will talk to Archibald. But we still have another link. Okay, so there's the threatening letter, which there's a demanding letter, a curious letter, and a threatening letter. So Margot is protective of Cassandra. Maybe she's the person that's close to Cassandra?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Geeks and nerds. Only one would know what was planned with the drinks globe. Do you mean that only the dead major would know what what had been planned with that? Margot was quick to speak of her protection over Cassandra. She must take this role very seriously. All right. Did that open another conversation? Or are we just assuming that the threatening letter we're assuming is written by Margot? The curious letter was possibly written by Ernesto, but we need to ask Archibald about that. And the demanding letter was probably written by Gideon. Boy, this guy seems to have had a lot of enemies. All right, let's hop back out here and go talk to Archibald.
Certainly. What do you need?
All right, what do you know of the Major's relationships with the guests?
The male guests, I believe, he knows in a business capacity, but I'm afraid that's all I know. I will add, though, he has not always been the easiest man to get along with.
Clearly, there's like 3 people writing him nasty letters.
You are talking from personal experience of working for him.
I am head butler to the Vandenbosch family in their home. He has made himself comfortable, but to me he still remained a guest.
Okay, so do you know much of the Major's time in the army?
There's not much I couldn't tell you. As soon as he found out my father was in the army, his stories never stopped.
Okay.
I am sure an officer of his rank must have many a tale.
A tale is a fitting description. Not so much a pinch of salt, more like a bag is needed listening to them.
What can you tell me about Monsieur de Silva, the Major, and Madame Vandenbosch? Oh, you need more, you think the game audio is a bit quiet? Well, let me adjust that a little bit here. I did have that turned down a little bit because I was playing Far Cry for one of the upcoming episodes recently, and man, that game audio is quite a bit louder. All right. Once you, get to this point in the video, like I said, I know it gets a little bit delayed on YouTube, but let me know if that's any better for you. All right. What can you tell me?
You've lost me, detective?
Oh. Okay, he knows nothing.
I struggle to believe they were both helping her out of the kindness of their hearts. Could they have been fighting for the Madame's affection?
So that's what the letters seem to allude to, but she is not a very affectionate person, let's put it that way.
That didn't take you long to spot.
Monsieur Sterling's lack of real response gives me all the answer I require.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated.
All right, let's hop back in here really quickly and see if there's additional links. There is an additional link now. There's still 0 for that one. Right, that one's completed, and 0 for that one. Yeah, this is what we're actually here for, is the whole blackmail scheme. And we walk into this thing, and then there's a fight, and then there's a murder. This dinner party has, gone downhill quickly. All right, all right, let's see. So we talked to Archibald. So what would have his... Okay, so the Major fabricated his accomplishments. Cassandra has multiple admirers, and the Major is generally disliked. Oh, good. The audio's better. That's good. Just want to make sure you can hear the people when they're talking. Okay, so... what would those point to? I mean, we can't really tag this. Cassandra has multiple admirers. We can't tag that. You can only tag it to one thing. And obviously there's several different letters and there's several different people. The Major fabricated his accomplishments. We could tie that to something, maybe. But what would we tie it to? And then, of course, the Major's generally disliked. I mean, we could try tying that to the fact that Ernesto has a rocky working relationship with him, but that's just him. That's not apparently everybody on the map.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
Agreed. I wasn't 100% sure that that was correct, but, well... All right. The Major fabricated his accomplishments. I can zoom in a little bit more. It is definitely harder for me to try to see what to tie together, but I will definitely zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better. All right, so... Is Cassandra... All right, Cassandra, that's right. I was thinking it was Angeline. Cassandra is the matron of the house, and then Angeline is her daughter. I was thinking maybe the brothers would have had history with the Major because of the fact that he was bullying. Well, of course, he's getting ready to be engaged to Angeline. All right, let's... say that maybe there is a rocky working relationship with Ernesto. And somehow that there's a... that warns against upcoming strikes.
I must act on thought and...
I didn't necessarily think that was the case, but I'm not sure. I would expect that that additional link probably opened up because of Archibald's, the conversation options with him, but... All right, she's got multiple admirers, and maybe that also links to Ernesto.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
No. Oh, okay, so instead of linking it back over here to Ernesto, they want it linked over here to the love for Cassandra. Okay, we can certainly do that.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Now I know of Ernesto's feelings towards Cassandra. He must be the one behind the letter.
What a revelation!
Voila. It seems the guests were not fond of the Major. Yes, we talked about that already. Oh, so there's another link now. All right, so this note is written by Ernesto. Okay, so it kind of worked its way around, apparently, is what actually happened, because it said it was possibly written by Ernesto. Until you get around here, it says it was definitely written by Ernesto. Okay. Oh, here we go. There's another link now. Multiple guests threatened the Major. Maybe the links to the fact that it's not a simple burglary because it wasn't a burglary because nobody likes him. They're trying to kill him.
I must take a different approach if I am to...
Oh, okay. Not that one. Did we ever try to link these together? I doubt this is probably it. The fact that Gideon's a supporter of the unions and Hugo's a union leader.
Is there something?
I think it's probably related to this, because this is the new piece that appeared that gave us another link. So let's try to link that to the other thing up here.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Okay, so it's highly possible one of the guests is behind the murder. This warrants immediate investigation. Based on the evidence seen in the Major's study and bedroom, as well what I have learned from speaking with the guests, Monsieur de Silva, Comtesse de Vos, and Monsieur de Mere. Comtesse de Vos. Was that Margot's last name, or was that... Oh, I guess it would be, yes, because she's the other one. And Monsieur Demire warrant concern and further investigation. Yes, this is a tangled mess for sure. All right, so this mind map is complete. So we're now on to this one, which still has nothing. And this one, which has nothing. Maybe at some point we'll figure out who the blackmailer is. Wouldn't that be awesome? That's apparently not the door. How do we get out of this bedroom, Archibald? Tell me. Tell me right now.
What do you need?
There's nothing further for me to investigate in here. Would you kindly gather the guests for me?
As you wish, Detective.
It seems there is no simple explanation for what happened here. The Major's popularity amongst the guests does not seem very high. There are still many questions that must be asked. Ooh, we've made it to Chapter 4. Haha. Okay. The Interrogations.
The guests are waiting for you, Detective. I informed them of what has happened, but divulged no details.
There goes my opportunity to catch one of them off guard. No matter, I have more than one weapon in my armory.
I am most grateful. Madame Vandenbosch is here also?
She's in her room with Miss Angeline. It may be better to speak with them privately tomorrow.
Tomorrow? There's a dead man upstairs, Archibald.
Oui, merci. I shall come find you again once my questioning is complete.
Yeah, geeks and nerds, I think you get an achievement for just about each of the chapters, and I think there's like 9 chapters or something like that. So we've gotten a couple of them here throughout, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple more till the end. I do like achievements. The guest alibis are my priority. Once I can confirm their whereabouts this evening, I can understand who had an opportunity. New mind map. I have my lead suspects from the evidence at the scene of the crime. Perhaps those will change after speaking with them all. Whoa, look at our... It's everyone. All right. Let's get on with these interrogate... Well, Archibald's on that list. Does that mean I'm supposed to talk to him?
Is that the end of your interrogations?
There are still some questions that remain to be asked.
Okay. So apparently I cannot question him. So, who are my prime suspects here? Ernesto's one of them.
Monsieur de Silva, merci for obliging me.
A detective comes to a party and a dead body shows up. Coincidental, don't you think?
A man's death is not a matter to joke on, monsieur.
Who said anything about a joke? I am saying what I see.
Then perhaps you can tell me what it was you saw this evening.
Where were you prior to dinner?
Following whatever that was in the hall, I moved to the library.
Is there anyone that can confirm that?
Miss Conrad and Beckers were in there, arguing about something. The books held my interest far more than their conversation.
You did not speak with them until dinner was served?
I had no reason to get involved with their little spat. It was clear they didn't want me to hear, and that suited me just fine.
Merci for your cooperation.
Okay. Gideon is also a suspect.
Monsieur Demire, I am sorry your celebrations have taken a rather dark turn.
As am I, Detective. I hope we will be able to bring this investigation to an end post-haste.
With your cooperation, I will do my very best.
Besides your time in the hall, where were you before we were summoned to the dining room?
I was here in the salon. I thought I would have a moment of peace to calm myself, but the Comtesse and my brother followed behind.
Did they inquire into the reasons behind the fight in the hall?
I think they both saw it as some light entertainment, more than anything else.
The Comtesse does not strike me as one to enjoy violence.
And not so much violence, but karma for the Major, perhaps. You did not hear how he spoke to my wife-to-be. She is still rather upset about the whole thing.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
All right, and then of course we have Margot.
Countess, I am sorry our next conversation must be under such formal circumstances.
It is not the first time Felix has ruined a good party.
He's dead, lady. He's dead.
The current state of tonight's celebrations is the least of my priorities, Countess.
Well, it's at the top of mine, detective. I did not come here for a wake.
That is cold-hearted if ever there was. Ah.
Perhaps then we should proceed with my questions, and you can get back to celebrating.
Wait, the celebrations are going to continue with a dead man Okay.
It would be my pleasure, chérie.
We spoke earlier. Did you remain here in the salon until dinner was served?
I did. I thought by staying in one place, it would be easy for the staff to bring me my drinks. How wrong I was.
And who else was present in here?
The handsome groom-to-be and his brother, although Zechariah, is it, made a rather sharp exit at one stage.
Did he say where he was going?
He barely said 2 words to either of us. I think he was more concerned with his drink.
Another to notice Monsieur Demir's drinking, and yet no one else seems concerned.
Merci, Countess. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
Sounds like we need to talk to Zechariah. All right, little Demir. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm afraid our conversation is of a more formal nature this time.
It's always the one you least suspect. That is true. If you've ever watched any episodes of SVU, it's always the person they throw in the episode that you least expect.
So the Major was murdered?
It appears so.
You can't think that I did it, though.
I will be questioning everyone over the course of the evening, and your cooperation will certainly speed up that process.
Besides speaking with me, tell me about your movements before dinner.
I was here in the salon, minding my own business, enjoying my own company.
Minding your business from whom?
Comtesse, what's her name, and my brother. Apart from wanting to congratulate him for a great right hook, there was nothing I had to say to him.
Comtesse de Vos? And they will both confirm you were here?
If she had taken a moment to notice anything besides herself, she will tell you I was here the whole time.
Well, she was the one that's... He is talking about the contest, right? She said that he left briefly.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Okay. Hugo, what do you have to say for yourself?
Bonsoir, Monsieur Beckers. Merci for speaking with me.
Monsieur Poirot, or should it be Detective Poirot now?
Detective Poirot is perfect, merci. I would like to begin with a few questions.
Go right ahead, Detective Poirot.
Can you tell me where you were prior to dinner?
I took great pleasure in seeing the Major's ego as well as his face take a bruising, and then I made my way to the library.
Oh, so he was actually legitimately witnessing the fight.
Well, you spoke with Mademoiselle Conrad.
And yourself? Yes.
We were the only two that you spoke with.
One of the servants bought me a drink, and I was telling her about the benefits of joining a union. She didn't understand what it truly meant to be a part of something. Something bigger than just her. I was trying to explain to her how...
Monsieur.
Oh, yes, it was just the two of you, and the servant.
Strange that he does not seem to recall seeing Monsieur de Silva in the library. That's Ernesto's last name, isn't it?
And you are sure there was no one else present?
I'm not sure what you're getting at, Detective. You were there.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Okay, there's only one person we haven't talked to, so we may as well. And that is, of course, this lady whose name I can't remember, Jackie.
Mademoiselle Conrad, I am sure you understand the delicate nature of the situation.
I knew I had seen your face before. You were just an officer when that story hit the paper.
You have a très bon memory, mademoiselle. That was a long time ago.
You can't escape the past, especially when you go and do something like that.
That is very true, but one can learn from it and create a better future.
What would you say to an
Please, mademoiselle. Catching the Major's killer is my sole concern right now. Now, if you would be so kind, I have some questions for you.
Tell me about your evening since your arrival.
I arrived, unpacked my bags in my room, and made it downstairs just in time to see the Major take a right hook from Gideon. And then I went to check out the library.
And you were joined by Monsieur Beckers.
And Ernesto, or Monsieur de Silver, as you say. But after he ignored my attempt at pleasantries, I left him to his book in the corner.
And your conversation with Monsieur Beckers that I interrupted.
You are a persistent one, aren't you? Makes sense now I know who you really are. You'll just have to wait and read about it in the paper like everyone else.
Mademoiselle Conrad still remains tight-lipped about her discussion with Monsieur Beckers, but a hint at reading about it in the paper makes me believe it may be of a much grander nature than I expected.
You have been most helpful. I request you do not go too far. Merci.
All right. All of you, remain here. I'm going to go into my mind map. We're going to have a look around, see which of you I think killed the Major. Oh my gosh, there's 6 links in here already. All right. So, yes, Margot said Zechariah went missing. All right, let's see here. So, Gideon saw Margot and Zechariah. So it's interesting to me that in both instances, somebody cannot recall people being... So she says Zechariah went missing. And then there was also somebody that said... Oh, it was the guy with the... Yeah. He said he didn't remember seeing Ernesto, but then Jackie remembered here that Ernesto was lurking in the library. I mean, I guess that would link to this.
Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically.
So Ernesto in the library doesn't link to it. Ernesto was lurking in the library. Okay, got it. So obviously here's an argument between Hugo and Jackie when Jackie says she was talking to Hugo.
This will not get me any closer.
Okay, so maybe it's a little too... I don't want to link the same conversations to the same ones, I guess. So... Here. Jackie... Hugo says he spoke with Jackie and himself. And Jackie says she was talking to Hugo.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Jackie and Hugo confirm each other's appearance in the library. Okay. Then we have... Gideon and Margot saw each other.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Margot and Gideon confirm each other's appearance in the salon. Gideon also confirms Zechariah's.
What a revelation.
Okay. They confirm each other's appearance in the salon. Okay, we still got 3. So Ernesto was lurking. That is the one I tried to link previously to. Ernesto was in the library. I guess he would confirm this. No, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if that one makes sense. I'm going to zoom out just a second because I need to see who's still on this mind map. All right, so we've got Zechariah, Gideon, Archibald's on here, but he's got no conversation options. We've got Margot, Hugo, Jackie, and Ernesto. We don't have Ernesto linked to anybody at this point. Maybe we will try to link that. I mean, he says there was an argument between Hugo and Jackie.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the truth.
That may not have been the most intelligent one. So he confirms the argument. So he said, Hugo said he spoke with Jackie.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
I zoomed out just to see if there's anything flashing. So Ernesto was confirmed to be in the library, so I'm not sure. Not quite sure why I can't link those. Okay, so we've got Zechariah expressed disdain for Margot, and Zechariah was in the salon. But she says Zechariah went missing. So probably one of these two, right? He says he was in the salon, but she says he went missing. So maybe let's try to link those.
I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse.
You think the Ernesto argument goes to Jackie? Oh, looks like you're right because they're flashing at the moment. Let's see if there's anything else that's flashing. Give me just a second. I'm mentally cataloging the ones that are flashing because they'll stop flashing as soon as we link some of them up. So there's only 5 that are flashing. So I'll show you which ones they are here. So spoke with Jackie and myself. This one is flashing. An argument between Hugo and Jackie, that's flashing. And Ernesto was lurking in the library is also flashing. Then the other 2 is Zechariah went missing and Gideon saw Margot and Zechariah. So there's still 3 links. So these are the only 2 about Zechariah.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Margot claims Zechariah stepped out of the room, but Gideon did not mention it. Was his missing time accounted for? Okay, so we can have another conversation option now to talk to Zechariah. And then I'm going to guess then some of these link to the same thing. So these 2 that you mentioned, Steph.
Magnifique.
They confirm each other's appearance in the library. However, apparently spoke with Jackie and myself. This was flashing. I'm assuming it goes to one of these.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Hugo failed to mention seeing Ernesto in the library. All right, so we're going to talk to Hugo and we're going to talk to Zechariah. Yippee! All right, Zechariah.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Your version of events.
I told you already. I was here in the salon.
Liar!
And you did not leave even once.
Well, I had to use the bathroom. I didn't realize I had to update you every time nature called.
Liar!
You may keep your calls of nature to yourself, merci. And then you returned to the salon?
If you don't believe me, ask Archibald. He saw me on his way up to the study.
Yay, that should unlock some conversation options for Archibald, probably.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Hugo, explain yourself.
Whatever you require, Detective.
Your story of tonight's events.
I know you are probably used to dealing with criminals, but not everyone is trying to hide something.
Except that there's a dead body upstairs, dude. Just Tell me about your
I
night.
hope for your sake that you do not hide anything from me.
What is it you think I'm hiding?
I struggle to believe you did not know of Monsieur da Silva's presence in the library.
Is that what this is about? I saw him hiding in the corner, pretending to read. I'd be surprised if he even could. I did not speak to him, and he certainly didn't make any attempt to speak with me.
Monsieur Demire invited you here to speak with him. You didn't see that as a fitting time too?
I was speaking with Jacqueline, and quite frankly, I was in no mood to be dealing with that man.
Monsieur Beckers is courageous and full of vigor in his planning, but his execution does not share such confidence.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Okay. Archibald, tell me about Zechariah, because he's on my list.
Can you confirm seeing Monsieur Demire in the hall this evening?
Zechariah, yes. I was on my way with a bottle of whiskey to the Major. He shouted a rather ignorable greeting to me and asked for directions to the bathroom.
I presume you showed him the way?
Aye, detective. I showed him to the hall bathroom. I didn't think it was wise to attempt the stairs, not in that state.
Okay. So then probably we would be ruling out, right? We'd probably be ruling out Zechariah. All right. Zechariah's absence is covered by Archibald.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
So, of course, I linked it to the fact that Zechariah was briefly missing. Archibald confirms Zechariah's movements out of the salon, however brief.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Gideon, Zechariah, and Margot were all in the salon, at least for some time altogether. Surely someone else is to blame. Maybe it's all three of them. It's a plot. Gideon, Zechariah, and Margot alibis all confirm each other's. Yes, I've noticed that that's an issue. All right, where's the other one that gets paired up? So that was Zechariah. So where's Hugo? Hugo saw Ernesto briefly. Probably that Hugo doesn't mention him. We now can link those up.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second look at the evidence in front of me.
Okay. Maybe it links to this one because the fact that Jackie and Ernesto confirm each other's alibis and now Hugo says that he saw him as well.
This will not get me any
No?
closer to my goal.
Wait. This is about Ernesto. Oh, here. Maybe we link it to the fact that Ernesto was in the library. That would probably makes more sense.
I must take a different approach if I am to...
Okay, which one does it link to here? Game? Hugo saw Ernesto briefly and an argument between... Why would it link to that one? Okay,
The pieces
whatever.
of the puzzle are finally coming together.
Hugo and Ernesto now confirm each other's appearance in the library.
What a revelation!
Hugo, Ernesto, and Jackie support each other's version of events. Someone else must be responsible, surely. Well, unless, it's Angeline or the Madame. All right. Even with some minute differences in stories, the guests all confirm each other's alibis. It is not the outcome I was expecting or perhaps hoping for. Okay. Hey, our mind map is done. Does that mean that's the end of chapter 4? Come, my little gray cells, let us solve this mystery. New mind map. That did not yield the result I desired. Perhaps a more direct approach, considering their potential motives, will reveal more. Yeah, I was kind of curious about that everybody was giving each other alibis, so there's no culprit at the moment. Continue your interrogations and determine likely motives. Okay, so we got all the same people except for Archibald. So Steph, to your comment about did Archie kill the major? Apparently not, because we're only looking at these 6 people. It's not the butler. I know you're behind, so I'll give you a moment to catch up to that. All right, let's go left to right again. All right, Zechariah.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Did you speak with the major this evening?
Why would I? I've got nothing to say to him, except maybe to keep his hands off what is ours.
What is yours that he could want?
Money, of course. Why do you think he has been suckling at the Vandenbosch teat for so long? He's bled them dry, and now they will all do the same to our money.
Well, based on our delving into like the prologue and stuff, they've had issues with money for a long time, so I don't know that it was necessarily the major that bled them dry, but...
Our?
My father's, Gideon's, it's all the same.
I get the sense you and Monsieur Gideon are not the closest.
When you have not been on level playing fields for years, it's hard to have a fair game.
I am afraid I do not quite understand.
If we're playing golf, he has a full set of clubs and a caddy in the form of my father, and I have the old split putter. Make sense now?
Perfectly.
There is certainly some hostility towards his brother. This runs much deeper than brotherly rivalry. Those 2 words side by side, I was really struggling to put them together.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Okay, so he's upset about the fact that he's been overlooked. But why would that have him kill the major? You think, if anything, that would have him killing Gideon. All right. Hugo, explain yourself.
Whatever you require, detective.
How do you know the victim?
I know that I don't think, or didn't think, a great deal of him. I'm just sorry I didn't get the chance to tell him what I thought.
The man has recently been murdered.
Someone must stand up to men like him, with their crooked dealings and lack of, well, any compassion at all.
Another rousing speech, monsieur.
It's the truth. If you knew what I know, maybe he wouldn't be dead, but behind bars instead.
Scandalous. All right, your connection to the family is through Monsieur Demire?
Yes, Gideon invited me. If you will recall from our previous conversation, we have been working together and he thought now would be a good time to discuss matters.
At an engagement party, okay.
To discuss business at the celebration of his engagement.
He and I apparently think the same.
We're all here, so what better time? He thought Da Silva might even let his guard down if he was in a more jubilant mood. It would be wise to not continue to ignore us any longer.
And what business was it that was so urgent?
We're trying to resolve the worker strikes. It has gone on long enough. Now is the time for him to listen to our demands so we can put an end to it all. Put the violence and upset behind us.
You seem to hold a certain level of, shall we say, anger towards the major?
Anger, yes, but that's all. I wouldn't kill a man.
You must see why this leads me to have suspicions.
You can't honestly think I did it. I am a man of peace. I make changes with words, not with violence.
I barely mentioned the major, and Monsieur Beckers became rather flustered and defensive. So are there plans for a negotiation with Monsieur de Silva? Are there plans? Isn't that Felix's last name? I mean, he's kind of dead, so it would be past tense were, but...
I am fighting for the basic rights of our workers, nothing more. If he can't see that, he is a lesser man than I already thought.
Oh, no, wait, no, that's Ernesto's last name, isn't it? Ernesto de Silva? Okay.
And where does Monsieur Gideon fit into the negotiations? And his brother?
His brother? I didn't even know he had a brother until I arrived here. Gideon certainly hasn't talked much about him. I get the sense there's not much love lost between them.
When was the last time you saw the major?
Last I saw, he was outside having a cigar.
We talked to him out there.
Oui, I spoke with him myself, but that was some time ago.
He does love a cigar. You'd have to stand out in those conditions. I could barely see him through the snow.
Merci, Monsieur Beckers. It has been a most enlightening conversation.
Okay, so he mentioned he didn't even know that Gideon had a brother, and another conversation unlocked. I'm assuming that's for Zechariah?
I'm an open book, Poirot.
Your relationship with your brother. It seems everyone has an opinion.
That doesn't surprise me, and yet no one actually asks.
I'm asking.
I am asking now.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have just wrote this story. Except I don't know the ending yet, so it'd be hard for me to write the story.
I should have expected that, shouldn't I? What is there to say? We used to be close, but not so much anymore.
I would find it very helpful if you could at least elaborate on your relationship.
He went to school, got an education, and was the apple of our father's eye. I went to war. See the difference now.
Monsieur has again mentioned his time in the war. While I do not mean to belittle his efforts for his country, it seems as though he has not been able to leave that life behind on the battlefield.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
All right, on to the next person, which is Ernesto.
More questions? I suppose so.
Can you tell me more about your relationship with the deceased?
Felix, I didn't know him that well. We spoke a handful of times. I met him through Cassandra. I thought him to be rather pompous.
No, I don't disagree.
But you remained polite, as any gentleman would.
Of course.
The negative opinion of the Major is rather ubiquitous. I am yet to meet someone with a particularly positive view of him. Why don't you tell me more about your relationship with Madame Vandenbosch?
What is there to say? She's a remarkable woman, and I admire her. Even after Edwin's death, she held herself with such poise.
It sounds as though you hold her in the highest regard.
And why shouldn't I? Women these days could take a leaf out of her book on how to present themselves.
You said you had talked with the Major a few times. About what exactly?
He had approached me about doing some business together. I like to know who I'm getting into bed with first.
And you both went ahead with your business venture.
Not so much a business venture, more security related. But there is no need to discuss that any further.
Is there something you wish to remain hidden about your partnership, monsieur?
It was far from a partnership. I hired him to run security at my factories. If the workers were going to get violent, I wanted to make sure I was ready to protect my property.
Both you and the Major have been very supportive of Madame Vandenbosch over the years.
That is correct.
And the reason for your support was always of a purely platonic nature.
Except that we know that it isn't.
If you're trying to insinuate that I was expecting something in return, you can remove your head from the gutter.
I meant no offense. I'm only trying to understand the dynamic of your relationship.
I may need to approach this in a different manner. Perhaps I should speak with the Countess on this.
Merci for your cooperation.
I would say she's who we're going to next, but Gideon's in between them.
No trouble at all. How can I help?
With the joining of your two families and the Major being around so much, I assume you knew him well?
I knew of him more than actually knowing him myself. In the past, he made his feelings towards my brother and I quite clear.
And that was not in a positive way.
I certainly wouldn't call trying to get Angeline to postpone the engagement positive.
I spoke with your brother earlier. He was certainly enjoying himself.
What do you mean?
I do not mean to pry, only I imagine the whole room was aware of his celebrating with a bottle.
You must be mistaken. Neither my brother nor I drink.
Wow, he's naive. I do not know how he could not have noticed the state his brother was in. Perhaps one does not see what one does not want to believe. How is your relationship with your brother?
We aren't the closest, but what brothers are?
I would argue that many are.
We've lived very different lives. Our priorities are different. He does not see things the way I do. There isn't much more to say.
There's clearly more to uncover here. I shall return to the matter when I have the fuel that is required to get the answers. I'd like to ask about your work with the Union.
I have lent my voice to some discussions. I have tried to facilitate meetings. Just positive support.
Does that positive support include sending letters to those on the opposing side?
Detective Poirot, I'm not sure what you think I have done.
Monsieur, a letter has been found threatening the Major of what might happen if he does not act promptly, and now he has wound up dead.
You think my sending him a letter, warning him not to get involved, means I murdered him?
At this time, it is certainly reason for me to be suspicious.
I have been funding the strikes, Detective. These men deserve fair treatment, and a wage that fits the hard work they undertake every single day. The Major didn't see that. All he cared about was the money for his services, and that is all I care to discuss.
It appears Monsieur's letter was at least written with noble intentions, but he is still hesitant to talk more on the Major's association.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
So you think it's Hugo? If the Major was hired for security, protesters could have had issues. Okay. We will see in a few minutes.
I am all yours, Detective.
All right, Margot. Did you ever speak to the Major about how he treated Madame Vandenbosch?
Why would I actively choose to speak to that wretched man?
You were quite adamant of your protection of Madame. If he was as awful as you portrayed him to be, there must have been some words spoken, or perhaps written?
Being coy here, Hercule.
He was quite aware of how I felt towards him, and the lengths he has gone to remain close to the family. That is all that needs to be said.
I must admit, I would not want to be on the receiving end of your tongue's wrath, Countess.
Wise thinking, Detective.
I'm sure you have noticed Madame Vandenbosch's absence.
I imagine she will have shed a tear for him, but she should not waste any more.
You don't think she would? Or you don't want her to?
I have made it quite clear what I think of that man, alive or dead. I would not want her to waste anything further on him.
I don't know who has the sharper tongue, Madame Vandenbosch or the Comtesse. It is certainly a close race for the first place. What of Madame Vandenbosch and Monsieur de Silva's relationship?
What of it?
Do you believe there was something more to their friendship?
As I have said, Detective, I am not one to gossip.
I would not even consider your name and that word in the same sentence.
Because it is not gossip when it's the truth.
I'm not sure that is exactly correct, but the Comtesse has made a bold attempt to justify her wagging tongue.
Why else do you think he would stay around for so long? Yes, he was a friend and partner to the Viscount, but it is plain to see it is Cassandra's partnership he longs for.
You have explained that the Major was trying to remain close to the family, but not why.
He was a disgusting leech that was driven only by money and power, like most men.
I can assure you not all men are concerned with such egotistical wealth.
That may be, but they are few and far between. I believe you are a special case, Detective Poirot.
I told you, she's still flirting.
It is not the first time I have been described in such a way.
Embrace the compliment, Detective. You have set yourself apart from the horrid crétins that seem to somehow make their way into positions of authority and power.
And that is what the Major was doing? Using Madame Vandenbosch as his ladder to the top?
You are finally seeing the man he was. A weak and self-indulgent social climber.
The Comtesse has certainly opened my eyes to the Major's true ambitions with the Vandenbosch family. I wonder if Madame herself is aware of his greed and hunger for social recognition.
Merci, Comtesse. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
All right. Last but not least, Jackie.
You came to the right place. What do you need?
What do you know of the victim?
I know that he was not the good and honest man he liked to think he was.
In what sense?
If you spoke to him for longer than 5 minutes, you'd know. I've met people in dark alleys I trust before him.
That's saying something.
And on the occasions when you did speak with him, what was discussed?
I'm sorry, Poirot. If you're looking for a deep-seated secret between me and him, you're going to be disappointed.
Mademoiselle Conrad is wise to the nature of this question. She knows exactly what and what not to say. This nut may be harder to crack than first expected. I think somebody said it earlier in chat that, reporters, she knows her stuff. As you were previously speaking with him, I assume you know Monsieur Beckers well then?
That man has got some real anger issues. I get why he's frustrated. He's trying his best for the workers, but holding on to rage like that, something's gonna burst.
A man suppressing his anger and a murdered body. The most amateur detective could see a connection. You seem to know a great deal about everyone. What can you tell me about Monsieur de Silva and Madame Vandenbosch?
If you think you can use me as some sort of gossip machine, you are sorely mistaken.
I can assure you it is not a case of gossiping. At this point, everything may be relevant to my investigation.
So I would be helping you potentially solve a crime? You should have said that off the bat. To say he's smitten is an understatement. I reckon he's been wanting her for years.
I see. Madame does not feel the same?
Doesn't look like it. If she did, she would have said something about it, right?
What are your thoughts on the Comtesse? I'd appreciate your opinion of her.
I don't know if you really would. She's got a mouth the size of Texas, except when it comes to truths about her. She wants everyone to think that she's the savior of these girls at the shelter. But there's a side to her I don't think anyone gets to see.
And what side is that?
One that she is keeping tucked away under her very expensive dress.
I can only see the work at a women's shelter as positive, even if the reason to start came from a selfish place. The work they do cannot be scoffed at.
You have been most helpful. I request you do not go too far. Merci.
Okay, so let's check our... Oh, we've got to go back and talk to Zechariah again and to Margot. Okay. Margot, let's talk to you again.
I am all yours, detective.
Push on the Major's aggression towards Cassandra.
Comtesse, you gave me the impression the Major and the Madame were close, but there were times where he acted rather aggressively to her, n'est-ce pas?
Listen to the music. It's aggressive, just like this conversation.
I am sorry, detective, but I did not mean to give you such an impression.
I have already built a rapport with the Comtesse, some may even say in a flirtatious manner. Perhaps if I continue to charm her, she will reveal the information I require. Flattering or humble? So, flattering is, it is obviously I who am mistaken. A fine woman of your stature would not purposely lead a young man astray. Or humble, if I've been mistaken, would you be so kind as to correct me in my train of thought? Okay, well, let's go with flattery, right?
Ever the charmer, detective. I would talk more on it, but I'm afraid Cassandra would think I am talking about her behind her back.
The Comtesse has something more to say, but she still holds back. Something tells me it is more to do with receiving attention. Perhaps I can use that to my advantage. All right, cautionary. How would Madame Vandenbosch feel if she heard the contents of our conversation from me? Or coercive. You obviously care a great deal about Madame Vandenbosch. Assisting me will help clear her of any wrongdoing. That is what you want for her, isn't it? Yeah, coercive for sure.
It is not often I am swayed so easily. I applaud you on your willingness and persistence. From day one, I was wary of his intentions. And it was not long before he showed his true colors.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a background on here that showed an emblem that looked like a shield, and as soon as we picked the right conversation options, it kind of shattered into pieces. I think that meant that we kind of broke through her defenses and we're going to get her to talk.
If it is a tear she sheds, it should be one of joy that he is out of her life.
I understand your feelings towards the Major, but perhaps there was...
He was a bully. He took his shortcomings out on her, and she sat there and accepted it. I never thought I would see the day.
I can understand why she would think that, because the Madame Vandenbosch is a rather terrifying person to sit there and take the bullying.
Perhaps now she will be able to see the man he truly
Hey,
was.
Look, we got another
Karma will
achievement.
always catch up to you.
Merci, Countess. If I have any further questions, I shall be sure to come and find you.
Okay. Zechariah? Let's talk to you.
I'm an open book, Poirot.
What do you know of your brother's work with the Union?
If you want to know about Gideon's part in the Union, why don't you ask him?
So, you are aware of his support for them?
Yes, well,
Oui, monsieur?
it'd be best to just ask him.
Monsieur either does not know much of what his brother does, or he is protecting him rather coyly.
I think that is all for now. Merci for your time.
Alright. So let's check our mind map. Oh, we gotta talk to Gideon again, but there are 3 links in here. A shiny achievement, yes. I like shiny achievements. Are you a completionist too, geeks and nerds? I'm definitely a completionist. I like the achievements. Alright, Gideon and Zechariah's quarrel. Oh, wow, there's a lot of conversation stuffs that unlocked here. Okay, so let's look at these. Gideon. He denies his brother's drinking. He wrote a letter. The Major didn't approve of the marriage. Gideon and Zechariah had a quarrel. Gideon was hesitant to mention his past with the Major. Alright? We get to Hugo. And we got Gideon is trying to start negotiations. Hugo has dirt on the Major. And Hugo claims to have calmed down. Then we've got Jackie, who says Hugo is frustrated. Jackie claims Margot is hiding something. Jackie doesn't trust the Major, and Ernesto and Cassandra's friendship. Okay. Oh, look, those are probably linked, because Margot says the same thing. Cassandra is more than a friend to Ernesto.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Perhaps Ernesto had hidden his secret love well. We can use this to our advantage. So wait. Should I take the whole chat thing going on right now? Geeks and nerds, should I assume that you are Tom? Because I've never actually looked to see... which would explain if you are actually Tom, then that explains how you're ending up in chat today, because you've been working a lot of weekends. So you would have probably never caught our streams before. So just to let you know, Tom, if that is you, Steph's pretty good at this. So you're going to have to up your game if you want to try to beat her. All right, so we have to talk to Ernesto again because his love is a well-kept secret. Then we have Hugo's frustration. He claims he's calmed down, but he's frustrated.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Hugo claims to have calmed down since his argument with the Major, but Jackie disputed this. All right, Hugo lied about his temper. All right. So let's see. Major involved in the workers' strikes. All right. Zechariah resents Gideon, probably links to Gideon and Zechariah having a quarrel.
I must act on thought and...
Okay, just kidding. So they resented each other didn't necessarily mean that they had a quarrel. We've just got one link left. Ernesto's fond of Cassandra. So Jackie doesn't trust the Major, and Margot says the Major leached onto Cassandra. It would seem like those two women seem to agree.
Order and method. That is the way to solve the problem.
Steph, you still think Hugo did it? Oh, Hugo involved with the workers' strikes. Or, sorry, the Major involved with the workers' strikes, and Hugo's dirt on the Major. Maybe those two.
Is there something I am not seeing?
Okay, just kidding. All right, what do we got? Okay, the blinking's going on over here. Zechariah resents Gideon, and Zechariah is defensive of Gideon. Oh, so they're going to link the fact that he resents him and he's defensive of him at the same time. Okay.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
He claims not to be close to his brother, but still seeks to withhold information about him. Okay. We have to go talk to Gideon. Oh, and to Ernesto now. Ernesto? So wait, Tom, did you read these books then? You said it sounds like the books. All right, Ernesto?
More questions? I suppose so.
Apologies for the insistent questions on the subject, but you and Madame Vandenbosch.
Mademoiselle Conrad was quick to talk of your hidden feelings towards her. Perhaps only hidden to Madame Vandenbosch herself.
What has this got to do with the Major's death? Does Cassandra know you have spoken to others about this? I have only tried to help her.
I am merely asking the question. There's no reason to panic. It would greatly help me if you would answer honestly.
There may be some feelings there, but Madame Vandenbosch does not know of them, and I trust that it will remain that way.
Oh, there had been another conversation option, I think.
Merci for your cooperation.
So, was that one... It didn't show that we had to pick a correct approach. Like we'd be coercive or, flattering or whatever. So hopefully we asked the right one. Gideon was the other person.
No trouble at all. How can I help?
I'd like to talk more about your brother.
I believe there are more important matters at hand than talking about my brother and I's relationship, or lack thereof.
The murderer is in his house, and by holding back information that may help my investigation, you only make me suspicious of your involvement.
But if I look at the cliff notes on Wikipedia, Tom, then I would know how what's going to happen. And I don't... It's supposed to be a surprise. That's how mysteries work.
Monsieur Demire, if you continue to withhold information, I can only assume you are hiding something, and must treat you as a prime suspect in the Major's murder.
I have nothing to hide. If you must know, we have not been on the best terms for years now. As I said, we are different people. He does not see the importance of planning for the future, and as much as my parents tried, they could not make him see that. I suppose that is why he sees me as their favorite.
He still believes that now?
I assume so. We barely talk anymore. I was hoping we would be able to sit down and talk and leave the past behind. But this evening has not panned out that way.
Okay.
If you would be so kind as to stay here, I may require your help further.
Okay. One more link in here, which probably came out of these conversations. So we talked to Ernesto's down here and Gideon's here. So let's see. Gideon feels detached from Zechariah. Could be because they resent each other.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
We have a new conversation. Ernesto denies Cassandra more than a friend. But we didn't link anything about Ernesto. We linked Gideon and Zechariah. Why is it Ernesto denies Cassandra is more than a friend?
Magnifique.
Okay, that's weird. The brothers are suspicious individually, but I cannot see them working together. I had my own opinion of the Major, one that is wiser kept to myself, but I did not expect so many like-minded thinkers. I should think further on what I have heard in my quarters. Hey, our mind map is done. But we have to talk to Archibald.
My time with the guests is complete, for tonight, at least.
Do you know who killed Major Hagen?
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. There are many steps that lead to the truth. I must think on everything I have heard this evening and dissect the truths from the lies. Merci for your assistance this evening. Au revoir.
I came here expecting to solve a case of blackmail, to relieve a family of a burden that has weighed upon them and overshadowed a joyous celebration. I have never been to an engagement celebration where a death has taken center stage before. I would agree with that. Although the guests' alibis confirm each other's, I still cannot rule out the possibility of one of them being involved in the Major's death. The relationships between some of the guests and the Major were more than rocky. Dislike towards him was plentiful, but enough to drive someone to murder? This is now the perfect opportunity to think about everything I've heard today. So does that mean, just going to say my mind maps? Well, we got a new one. I have all the information I need. I must now compile it together and find the most probable culprit. Whoa. Okay. All right, there's 6 of them. So we again have the same 6 people. We've got Margot, Jackie, Hugo, Gideon, Zechariah, and Ernesto. And then we have this random salon where it says Hugo, Ernesto, and Jackie confirm each other's alibis. Gideon, Zechariah, and Margot alibis all confirm each other's. All right. Again, it seems like it's a group of people that killed him. All right. So Margot says she and Cassandra are longtime friends. Jackie claims Margot is hiding something. Also, Jackie wants information from Hugo. Well, these are probably going to link, right? Jackie wants information from Hugo, and they were talking because Hugo has dirt on the Major.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
When I first overheard their conversation, it seemed Hugo was trying to get Jackie to listen. All right, Hugo lied about his temper, is up here, and that he was invited by Gideon. Gideon is hesitant to mention this past with the Major. He wrote a letter. Gideon is trying to start negotiations. The brothers are unlikely to cooperate. He does not like Margot. He's repressing something. He resents Gideon, and he has a conflicting attitude about his brother. He resents him, but he also is protective of him, I guess. All right, and then Ernesto, fronting money for the house. He's involved in the worker strikes. He cares for Cassandra, and he's a threat to the Major. Wow, this is quite the mind map here. Zoom out just a second here. Okay. What does this say? All right, so yes, she's the one that wrote the letter to the Major. That sounds like a threat. Maybe that is what Jackie thinks that Margot's hiding.
Magnifique.
Hey! Look at that there, Mr. Tom Geeks and Nerds. A shiny achievement. The letter she sent protecting Cassandra was threatening indeed, and Jackie seems unable to determine her secret. Margot's motivation was protection. All right. So Gideon also wrote a letter. Maybe he's hesitant to mention his past, and because he wrote the letter.
What a revelation.
Aha. So I was correct. It's not often that you generally link things that come from the same character because they're already linked by the character. So why you would say, like, Gideon why you would link out from Gideon and then link those two items when they're already connected by Gideon is weird to me. All right. His history with the Major combined with threats to his well-being definitely show intent. All right. So his motive was retribution. So the other person that we thought might have was Hugo. So he lied about his temper. So he has dirt on the Major. Wait, who wrote the other letter? So there were... Ernesto was the other letter. Okay, so... Here's his threat. And he's... because he cares for Cassandra.
I should not
there
be
we
surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Blinded by both love and greed, he may have struck down his opposition. So his motive was jealousy. So... how do these all link to the salon? Negotiations to Hugo, Steph says. Negotiations. So you can't link directly to the characters, but we might be able to, because I did look at that at one point, that Gideon's trying to start negotiations, and that was kind of why he invited Hugo. But I did mention this, I think, probably the last time that we played, and Steph, I think you were here at the time. They oftentimes seem to set the mind maps up so that the things that connect, that the lines kind of go nicely, so that they don't cross each other weirdly. And as weird as that sounds, like this would cross kind of over some things weirdly, but we'll try it.
Come, my little gray cells.
All right. All right, so two of our people that are potential are Margot and Gideon. And then the other ones are Ernesto. Margot and Gideon were in the salon together. And Ernesto was in the library with Hugo and Jackie. So... does it kind of seem like... so Zechariah's got this conflicted relationship with his brother, that maybe like Gideon and Margot did this together and he's unwilling to turn on them? Oh, you were thinking of the temper one. Oh, okay, well, let's try that.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second look at the evidence...
Okay, let's zoom out here. Any flashy flashies? No flashy flashies. All right, so. I mean, theoretically, this could be Zechariah has a conflicting attitude, is what makes him unwilling to cooperate, but...
method. That...
probably not. Anything flashing? Oh. They're linking these two. Interesting. Basically that there's this whole house plot, maybe?
Another success. I never doubted myself.
All the guests have at least one other guest to confirm their alibis. All alibis confirmed, which means multiple people are lying. Huh. Oh. Somebody's knocking on my door. Who could that be at this time?
Entrez.
Detective, I'm sorry I did not join you in the salon as requested.
Please, mademoiselle. There is no need to apologize.
I was with Maman in her room. She would not allow anyone to see it, but I could see she was terribly upset.
Most understandable.
Do you have any suspicions as to who could have killed him?
I'm afraid my suspicions extended across all of the party's guests. While it seems as though their alibis all corroborate one another's, the disdain and hostility towards the Major makes them rife with motive.
I know there was some bad blood between the Major and some of the guests, but not enough to kill him, surely. She may seem tough on the exterior, but she's really quite kind when you get to know her.
She talking about her mother here? She says she? Because she was originally, I mean, up here she was talking about all of the guests. Okay.
The Countess? She is a formidable force I would not want to come up against.
Oh, so the she is the content. Okay, I'm caught up now.
Don't be silly, detective. She wouldn't hurt a soul. Jacqueline, I mean.
Mademoiselle Conrad? She was in fact the least suspicious. Until now.
I assume that's who you were talking about, detective, after what happened between them.
That is a story I have yet to hear.
She must have told you about the piece she was writing on us, about Gideon's work and our marriage.
Somehow that was the only thing she did not mention.
That's strange. I thought that is what she would have started the conversation with. Well, she had come to the house to interview me, and when I entered the library, she was there with Felix amid a rather heated conversation.
Do you know what this conversation regarded?
I'm afraid not, but Felix was quite enraged. He picked up an envelope from the table and stormed out, slamming the door behind him.
And Mademoiselle Conrad?
She was equally heated in the moment. She had a few choice words for him that I wouldn't care to repeat.
Yay, shiny achievement. All right, how is Madame feeling now?
Better, thank you, detective. She's resting in her room. It is the best place for her.
And you, mademoiselle?
I'm not quite sure. It is a rather surreal feeling. I did not think I would miss him like I do.
It is understandable. He has been a close friend to your maman for many years.
And to me, detective. We had grown close. After father's passing, he was always there for me. And now, he's gone as well.
So, did he want to have a relationship with Angeline and Gideon was in the way, and maybe that's part of the reason there was a fight?
You must try and not think on it like that.
It is easier said than done, detective.
Because it's weird that Felix was rather aggressive to Cassandra, but he was apparently very nice to Angeline. Does anybody else find that weird? Anybody?
I have no doubt, but you can be assured the culprit will not remain at large for long. You have my word.
If you were in my position, mademoiselle, who would be at the top of your suspect list?
I'm sorry, but I just can't imagine any of them committing such a heinous crime.
It can often be hard to look past one's personal feelings for someone and see their flaws.
It's not that, detective. It's just they have known each other for years. Why would any of them act now?
I was under the impression the Major had merely a business relationship with some of the guests.
That's true, but those invited know each other, some of them for years. They may not seem like it, but some are even friends. I should return to my room now, detective. It has been a trying day for us all.
Oui, mademoiselle. I am afraid tomorrow may bear a resemblance, but I will not stop until I have found his killer.
I am certainly glad you are here, detective.
When and where a detective is required, that is where I shall be. Bonne nuit, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle has left me with an interesting thought, one I had not considered until now. While at first glance the guests do not appear to show much fondness for each other, Mademoiselle is quite sure that is not the case. Perhaps I must consider looking at the guests together and not individually. Oh my gosh, that's what we've been saying for 10 minutes now? All right. Do we have another mind map that we need to go in here? Ah, there's another connection there. Okay. Oh, we've got Angeline in here now. Jackie bumped heads with the Major and guests have known each other for years. And that is why all of their alibis are confirmed.
I must take a different approach if I am
come
to uncover
on.
the truth.
That was a good link. I take issue with that one. Alright, so... Here, Jackie bumped heads with the Major, and she was pushing for dirt on the Major.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I doubted Jackie's involvement with the murder, but now I am dubious of her innocence.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
I now have all the motives from the guests. Who is under suspicion? Jackie seems suspicious. Oh. All motives are confirmed. So, this would be a weird way to link it, but... So, Jackie seems suspicious, and all motives are confirmed. Realistically, if I'm looking at just the direction of the lines, all motives are confirmed and all alibis are confirmed.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
I do not know who I can trust or whose stories I can believe. Are the guests innocent? All guests are suspicious. That's what I said! They should have opened up this mind map a long time ago. Okay. All guests are suspicious because they've all known each other for years?
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
I now doubt how trustworthy their stories may be. They may well be covering for each other. I think the link, or the weakest link here is Zechariah. We should start with him. There's no physical way one of the guests could have killed the major and returned to the party, unless that is where I'm mistaken. It is not one guilty party I should be looking for. It is not one guilty party I should be looking for, rather multiple. Objective complete. All right. All right, so probably what's going to happen when we back out of the mind map here is that we're probably going to be thrown into some sort of additional scene. So if you guys want to take a minute, I'm going to go ahead and pause here for a few minutes. I'm going to go get myself some coffee because I'm getting, I've been talking for a while now and I need something to drink. So we're going to take a couple minutes here and we will be right back. Alright, guys. I'm back. Hopefully you're back. Hopefully everybody took their chance to go get themselves a drink, take a potty break, those kinds of things. Because we're going to jump back in here, and we're going to find out what's going to happen. How could I not have considered that the Major's death was part of a ploy created and executed by more than only one guess? He's a terrible detective if he's just now figured that out, because me and my chat, we already figured this out. All right, it came almost as an epiphany following Mademoiselle Angeline's remark about the guest's shared past. Perhaps Mademoiselle will become the trusted ally that I now sense may be essential to catching the guilty parties. Tonight's questioning was only the beginning. I will allow my suspects to sleep on their stories, and we will see how they fare tomorrow. Perhaps one of those involved will have morals enough to show a glimmer of regret. Yes, hi, Steph. Welcome back. I have my coffee now. It's got pumpkin spice creamer. I'm good to go. Considering they may be working together, I cannot be sure who has told the truth and who has attempted to sell me down the... What kind of phrase is this? This is definitely one I'm not familiar with. Sell me down the fluve. What's a fluve, first of all? One of you in chat, look up what a fluve is. F-L-E-U-V-E. I thought maybe it was like, a flue, like a chimney flue, but I don't know if that's what that is. Okay. Perhaps I should sleep on the matter. A good night's sleep will surely bring a new dawn of thinking. And what a better setting to do so in than a peaceful falling blanket of snow that surrounds us all. Although, it seems not everyone has the same idea. Hey, shiny achievement. Ooh. There's somebody outside. Guys, there's somebody outside the window. Chapter 5. The secret. Ooh. A restless sleep, combined with the image of the eerie figure in the snow, has only convoluted what my little gray cells must consider. I should not have expected this to be a simple case. I have been lied to by at least one of the guests. Their alibis all confirm each other's, but I know this not to be true. A new mind map. How? The Major? Fluve means river? So sell me down the fluve means sell me down the... Okay. I can see how that imagery would work. How the Major was involved with the blackmail eludes me for now. Once I have confirmed whether he was the author or the recipient, I can consider my next steps in my investigation. Okay. We have 0 mind links here. We are showing the blackmail letters. What were they, like chapter 2? And we've got Angeline, Gideon, and Archibald in this mind map. Okay. Wait, who are we supposed to talk to? Okay, well, I'm going to assume that it probably was Angeline because he was talking to her. Now the question is, where is she? You know what, this is servants' quarters down this way. Let's go this way and see if she's in this... Oh, she's right here.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you were comfortable last night.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. The room was more than pleasant, merci. I'm afraid my mind was not in a state to enjoy it to its full potential, though.
I can't imagine any of us slept soundly last night.
Hopefully guilt will be weighing heavily on someone's shoulders this morning.
Perhaps on more than one set.
I'm sorry if I was not much help last night, Detective.
On the contrary, your inside knowledge of the guests was of great help to my investigation. But there are many more questions that require answers.
What were your feelings towards the Major's position in the house?
His position? You mean about him living here?
Oui, even in a house this size, you must see a lot of each other.
I enjoyed having him here. When I was away with Gideon, it was comforting to know Maman was not alone. Although his work with Mr. Da Silva has kept him away from the house of late.
What can you tell me about their relationship, working or otherwise?
There is not much to tell, only that there is no love lost between them.
Do you know what their business entailed?
He was always quite private about his work. I know that he was helping Mr. Da Silva with some safety matters.
I found a check addressed to the Major from Monsieur da Silva. It noted security consulting.
Ah, that's right, security. With his military training, he helped Mr. da Silva prepare for any trouble with the strikes.
Although the Major's death has taken precedence, there has been a development in the blackmail case.
A development? Oh, detective, I knew I could count on you.
It may not be the news you had wished for, though. Another letter has been found.
When did we find another letter? Or is he talking about the one we found in, like, chapter 2?
Addressed to me? I don't know how much more I can take of this.
Oh, that's right. There was one that I think that he had identified that it was not known to the rest of the household or something like that.
Pardonnez-moi, mademoiselle. Although it has been written in the same manner, using similar phraseology, it was not sent for your eyes, rather the Major's. Or at least that is how it seems.
Okay, maybe that's it then. He's talking about the one that came to the Major.
I'm sorry, detective, I don't understand. It is addressed to him or not?
I found it in the Major's study yesterday while conducting my preliminary search. Whether he is the author of the letter or the recipient, I am still yet to discover.
Could the Major have been behind the blackmail?
Heavens no, he could not do that.
You did not hesitate for a moment.
Why would he do such a thing? And then to send a letter to himself? It just doesn't make sense.
It would be a good cover-up.
Merci for your time, mademoiselle. You are to a detective what an umbrella is to a traveler on a wet day.
That is a weird word picture. Okay, let's just...
Exactement.
Okay. By the way, Tom, you weren't here the first couple of weeks. Do you love my shoes? Aren't they fabulous? Okay, we can't go to the salon. We can't go to the dining room. Oh, hello, Gideon and Margot. Everybody's suspicious is out here. Is it you? Is it you? Let's at least talk to you.
Bonjour, Monsieur Damir.
Detective Poirot, how are you?
The truth, monsieur. With each step towards uncovering the blackmailer, I am thrown 2 steps back as to the identity of the Major's killer.
Is there something I can help you with?
After investigating the crime scene yesterday, I asked Monsieur Sterling to move the body. Is that Archibald's last name?
Archibald came to me and asked for my help in the matter. My brother and I dealt with it.
Merci for your help. It is a job that only the professionals should have to undertake.
It's a job that had to be done, although it may have affected my brother more than I.
How so?
At the sight of the body, the color drained from his face. Once we had reached the cellar, Zechariah took himself straight off to bed, without even a good night.
So they shoved the body in this cellar? That sounds great. While in the study, I noticed the Major's safe was locked. Would you know who has access?
Felix and Madame Vandenbosch are the only ones with keys, as far as I'm aware. Oh, and Archibald. I'm sure I heard Felix asking him to return something to it once.
I wonder why Monsieur Sterling did not mention this previously. Have you spoken with your brother this morning?
I have not seen him since last night. I'm sure he will have been fine after a good night's sleep.
I imagine the alcohol would have acted as a sufficient sleeping aid.
He does not need his younger brother checking in on him.
Oh, so Gideon's younger? Did I remember that? Maybe we didn't know that before. We probably did, and I probably just don't remember. For some reason, in my head, he seems older.
Perhaps that is exactly what he requires.
I'm not sure what he told you yesterday, Detective, but he's a big boy. He can look after himself.
I worry that may not be the case, monsieur. His time in the war came up in conversation more than once during our conversations.
He's still talking about it? I thought talking to the doctor would have stopped all of that.
Okay, so he's
Merci.
apparently seeing a therapist for his, which is probably a good thing. I think we've already checked this. Yeah. Just crackling fire. Yep. All right, Margot, let's talk to you.
Comtesse, I wonder if I could ask you some questions.
That is it, detective? No small talk? No inflating of one's ego?
I am afraid not, Countess. With the murderer still loose in the house, my mind is rather preoccupied.
Well then, detective, perhaps I can be of some assistance.
Comment, madame?
I thought you might like to know what I found on the Major's body.
What was she doing with the Major's body? Oh, I demand to know who gave you permission to see the Major's body.
That certainly piqued your interest.
A man has been murdered, and you find it acceptable to fool around and joke.
Oh, please, detective. Do you really think so little of me? Archibald asked for my assistance. He knows of my medical training from my days as a nurse, and I thought I would be able to help. Even if it has been some years.
Help with what? He's dead. It's not like you can do CPR.
It was not his place to grant you access to the body.
I shall remember to keep my assistance to myself next time.
What did you discover on the body?
A single stab wound, which you no doubt already knew. The knife was held in their right hand. I would say their predominant hand.
I think that rules out Gideon. Isn't he left-handed? I don't remember how we knew that, but for some reason, I think Gideon's left-handed. Oh, because when they had to fight, right? Wasn't he punched with Gideon's left hand? I pride myself on order and method, and this is far from either. A suspect in a murder investigation has examined the very victim that they are suspected of killing. It is something out of a crime novel. Well, I mean, the story is.
Judging by the depth of the wound, I would say there was no great force put into the strike. More a sign of defense than attack. If I had to say what weapon was used, a small sharp knife or dagger.
This may confirm my suspicions that the Major's knife being used to kill him.
I understand it may be difficult for one to keep such information to yourself, but I ask you to try. Your involvement has already tainted my investigation.
You are welcome, detective.
When my superior officer hears of the goings-on in this house, I will surely be seeing the green fields of the countryside once more. I must do all I can to redeem the reputation I've worked to build, starting with finding the killer.
S'il vous plaît, Comtesse. Keep this information to yourself.
Okay. Let's go into our mind map here now. We've got 2 links in that one. We still don't have... Alright. Alright, so there was the first blackmail letter that Gideon paid off. And then there was the Major's blackmail letter that had a ransom value. Let me zoom out just for a second. Okay. So I guess I'm wondering if Gideon might have paid off the second letter as well.
Come, my little grey cells. We must...
Right, so... I could see realistically how these could be linked as well. So Zechariah was shocked by the Major's corpse. He's in therapy. I mean, I can only imagine those things would not have gone well together.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
I have heard of men returning physically from war, but their minds remain on the battlefield. So we've got to talk to Gideon again. Zechariah may have shell shock. All right, and then Archibald asked Margot to inspect the body. Angeline disputes the Major being the blackmailer, and Angeline knew the Major well. Well, this is about the blackmailer of the second letter, and they asked for a ransom. I don't know if that would be...
On thought and...
Yeah, that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but, you know. All right, where am I? Oh, I'm way down too far. So again, I guess we could theoretically link these because she did confirm that she knew him well, and she doesn't think he would have been the blackmailer. Wouldn't have made sense.
Magnifique.
One can't be surprised with Angeline and Felix's bond. He's been a figure in her life for so long. Okay, so we've got to talk to... what, Gideon? Yeah. Let's go talk to Gideon.
If it will help you find the Major's killer, of course.
Your brother was seeing a doctor?
When he returned from the war, he was a different man. Everything became about what he had seen.
I cannot speak from experience, but I can only imagine the horrors he must have witnessed.
The first weeks he would wake in the night, screaming. I found him one night, cowering behind a desk in the study. When I tried to help him out from beneath it, well, it was the first time I had ever feared for my life.
That is not why you two are no longer close?
And not at all, Detective. We were always very different in nature. While I had always wanted to follow an academic path, Zechariah was more of a free spirit. Or at least as free as our father and the laws would allow.
And yet, he ended up in the military. Quite the contrast.
Our father demanded that he at least try to do something with his life. And when some of his friends joined the army, he signed up with them. It wasn't long before he moved out from the family home after his return from the army. I always assumed that he had put the war and everything that came with it behind him and was moving on. But now I see that is far from the truth.
So, they did mention that Zechariah did leave the salon. Maybe he was talking to, it says it's probably more of a defensive wound than the knife cut, right? So maybe he actually was just defensively protecting himself, and then the other guy got stabbed and so he freaked out. I don't know. Of course, by the way they said about the body, he probably would have been freaked out far earlier. All right, so let's see what we need to do here. Okay, nothing is open here at the moment, so let's go see if we can talk to Archibald. Did he just wipe dirt off of his shoulder? That was weird.
Good morning, Detective. You slept well?
I'm afraid I did not. I was hoping for at least a moment of pleasant slumber, but alas, it was not to be. Finding the Major's killer is the only thing that will put my mind at ease.
In that case, Detective, what can I do to help?
While watching the snowfall last night, I swear I saw the silhouette of a figure standing in the garden.
In that snow? If someone was out there, we'd have another body on our hands.
I realize how strange it sounds. I would not believe it myself if I had not seen it with my own eyes.
Staff have reported seeing things in the dark before, but it always just turns out to be shadows. It was likely just your mind playing tricks.
I did not see Mademoiselle Elizabeth last night.
I'm afraid our Lizzie is not well. I think the events of yesterday were too much for her. We'll have to just make do without her this morning.
He brushes his shoulder a lot. I've never noticed that before.
As Wordsworth once stated, rest and be thankful. Perhaps a chance of peace and relaxation will work wonders.
Why would I want access to the telephone? Let's ask about that first, because I'm afraid if we ask to speak to Madame Vandenbosch at your earliest convenience, that he might take me there now, and then I won't have a chance to ask the question about the telephone.
I would, but I'm afraid I found this morning that the telephone lines aren't working. The snow continued through the night and must have damaged them.
Or the shadowy figure outside cut the lines.
Even if we could use the telephone, I don't think anyone would be able to reach us.
In that case, it will be up to myself alone to solve the case.
I'll let you know if anything changes. But until some of the snow clears, enough for the carriages to arrive, we are snowed in.
Although I am not able to call upon or leave the house to find help from the local authorities, it also means none of the guests are able to. I have until the snow clears to find not only Mademoiselle Angeline's blackmailer, but also the Major's killer. Again, let's ask about the Major's body first.
Taken care of. Master Demir and his brother, after sobering up, helped me move him into the cellar. Best place for the time being.
Très bien. I imagine there is no reason for anyone to go down there.
Besides me, no one. Once this snow clears, we will be able to move him from the house.
I didn't even ask about the fact that we let the Comtesse down there. I'd also like to speak to Madame Vandenbosch at her earliest convenience.
She is currently eating breakfast alone in the dining room. It's how she prefers it. But if you wish to speak with her now...
It is important I speak with her, but perhaps it is better to allow her to finish. I do not wish to upset her before I have even asked my first question. I could perhaps investigate the garden for any evidence of the figure from last night. Make sure you put a coat on.
Your assistance has been most valuable as always.
I don't have a coat. I'm going to freeze to death. Oh, we're already freezing to death. Finding evidence of the figure from last night will, on one hand, confirm I'm not seeing things as Monsieur Sterling suggested, but on the other, pose even more questions that must be answered. An expensive lighter, a well-made lighter with the insignia of a military regiment. The Major must have dropped it. Okay, what was back here? Faint footprints.
Aha.
There is a small trail of footprints in the snow. The Major was seen walking around here yesterday. This is some very deep snow. Holy cow, it's almost up to his knees. Garden tools.
Oh.
Garden tools have been left out, presumably before the snow fell. Guess we can't go that way any further. Look, you can see my trail in the snow. How cool is that? That they did that in this game. Some games have attention to detail like that. Other games, not so much. Was there anything in the middle that I missed? Because clearly I can see where I've been now. Because to be honest, I would not have seen those faint footprints if the little prompt hadn't popped up. Milk bottles. They must have been left out here for collection. I cannot see anyone making it through this snow, though. Agreed. I'm going to need to go stand and gaze by that fire. Exit is impossible.
Huh.
The house is completely snowed in. It does not look like we shall be going anywhere anytime soon. The snow is still falling, and I'm hardly dressed for the occasion. Perhaps Madame Vandenbosch has finished her breakfast and is ready to answer my questions. Oh, they just teleported me right back inside. Do I have to talk to Archibald, or can I just go in here? To the dining room. While I must speak with Madame Vandenbosch, I should also... There's a missing word in here. I should also maybe take this opportunity to talk to Mademoiselle Rehana in the kitchen. Okay. Is there anything in here that I should check? Because I think the only time that we've been in here before, it was kind of scripted.
Oh.
Madame Vandenbosch's collection of art extends further than just paintings. Another one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yes, here's... They still have all the dinner party stuff from last night? I wish I could dry my shoes. I think I probably need to dry my socks and my pants as well. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Is this the same thing? Sure is. Okay. And another bust. Okay, nothing specific to look at there. Oh, here's another drink globe. I wonder how many travel expeditions have been planned while enjoying the contents of the globe. Oh, here's the kitchen already. Well, let's talk to Madame Vandenbosch first. Hello. There we go.
Bonjour, madame. May I offer my condolences for your loss?
Thank you, Detective, but they are not necessary. What can I do for you?
Not necessary?
I was hoping you would be prepared to answer some questions.
If I must.
Why would someone want to kill the Major?
I'm sure you're aware he was not the easiest man to get along with. His hot temper made him a number of foes.
A hot temper is reason enough to kill a man.
His mouth often acted before his brain. Perhaps someone had grown tired of dealing with it.
You suggested why someone might kill him, but who do you believe would do it?
Seeing as I heard Mr. Becker's in what I would describe as an unnecessarily loud exchange of words yesterday, he would be my first suspect.
Becker's, that's Hugo, right? Okay.
You heard them yourself.
How could I not? The volume they were shouting at, I could hear them from the study in my room.
You did not think it fitting to tell me this yesterday?
I didn't think Felix was going to wind up dead and a murderer loose in my house. My apologies, Detective.
Although I must learn more of this argument, it is not Madame that I expect has answers, that I expect the answers to come from, rather Monsieur Becker's. He has a great deal of explaining to do. A letter was found in the Major's study.
I assume you are talking about the supposed blackmail letter.
Oui, madame. You know of it?
It arrived shortly after the first. Rather coincidental, if you ask me.
I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say, madame.
He no doubt had secrets hidden away. But do you honestly think Felix had anything of value to his name worth threatening him for?
Perhaps you should enlighten me.
Well, he was here, living in my house, eating my food, prepared by my staff. Does that answer your question, Detective?
I think she's insinuating that he had nothing to eat, or not eat. He had basically no money, so why they would try to get a ransom from him? How do you think the Major came to have the letter?
I wouldn't put it past him to have written it himself, in the hopes of getting some sympathy from me.
Oh, so she knew he was underhanded?
And the other letters?
He probably wrote those too. If Angeline paid the first, that would have given him the money to pay the second letter. He is the White Knight, saves the day, and expects to live here happily ever after.
Wow, that would be underhanded. I did not expect Madame Vandenbosch to be so blunt with her thoughts towards the Major. I was under the impression there was more to their friendship, not less. It is quite the nefarious plan that Madame has laid out for the Major. I'm not sure I can believe he would go to such levels of deceit. I'm sure Mademoiselle Angeline will have an opinion on the matter. I'd like to ask you about Monsieur de Silva.
What is it you wish to know?
You two have been friends for some time now. And while I do not mean to pry, has your relationship only...
If you are trying to insinuate that Mr. de Silva and I are running around like schoolchildren, you could not be further from the truth. He was friends with my husband, for goodness sake.
Oui, I understand they worked together. Investments, if I am correct.
Mr. de Silva was the voice of reason that my husband should have listened to more often, instead of throwing our money at businesses that were already on the verge of bankruptcy.
Okay.
Merci, madame. I shall not bother you any further.
Let's go to the kitchen and talk to Rihanna. Were we not in this kitchen before? Oh no, we were in a pantry of some sort. Because I was going to say, it did not look like this. So is there anything here that I should be looking at? Can I, like, taste test these cookies? Or these cookies? Or whatever these little crockeries are. Here's pots and pans. The cook has obviously used them for quite some time, judging by their condition. Are there soufflés in these little crockeries? That is a very big... What is that? Rice or flour, sugar, something? All right, there's a cupboard. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. All right, Rehana, we're going to chat with you.
Bonjour, madame. You must be the wonderful cook.
Wonderful and modest, sir. I am Rihanna.
No, I'm actually not hungry at the moment, but there's cookies. Do you have to be hungry to want cookies?
My taste buds thank you for the ravishing meal last night. It has been some time since I ate so well.
Glad to hear it, sir.
S'il te plaît, madame. A detective is fine.
In that case, mademoiselle is fine for me, and I will ignore your presumption of marriage.
Okay, so mademoiselle means an unmarried woman then, I suppose, kind of like how in kind of the English language it's a miss.
Très bon, mademoiselle.
Oh, another shiny achievement. All right, you've been with the Vandenbosch family for quite some time?
That's right. I've seen staff come and go, but a house always needs a trustworthy cook.
I agree. But if I was to eat what you prepare every day, I fear I may be the size of La Maison.
Not a bad thing, detective. You could do with some meat on your bones.
She's got keys on her belt. Wonder what those are for.
Well, with the snow still not clearing, we may be stuck here for the weekend. Perhaps I should look to adjust my pantalon buttons.
I understand you took some ice to the Major yesterday?
I did. Monsieur Archie told me what had happened. Bruises can swell fast, so I took him some ice to bring it down.
Strange. Monsieur Sterling told me it was the Major that requested the ice. Okay, so she's saying that she took the initiative to take it to him, and Archibald is saying that the Major requested it. I have noticed that we're always assuming that the butler's not involved. I mean, he's not really in any of the mind maps or anything. But anyway, let's see what we have to say here.
How was the Major when you saw him?
Grumpy, as always.
I suppose one would not take kindly to being punched as he was.
Punched or not, he was as ungrateful as ever.
So she's got a very...
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
I've gathered all I need from Madame Vandenbosch and Mademoiselle Rehana. I should return to the Great Hall. So she's got a very shiny experience with him as well, apparently. Okay, here's the door. I didn't remember how I got in here. Okay. Is there somebody else dead in the entryway now? Alright, Angeline is here. Let's see if there's a mind map link. There is one. So let's go in here and check this out. Okay, so this is a very good link right here. Cassandra believes the Major is the blackmailer, but Angeline doesn't think so. Probably we're going to end up talking to Angeline about this, right?
What a revelation.
Angeline and Cassandra have different impressions of the Major. There must be a reason for this. All right. Yes, talk to Angeline. Haha. I predicted that one. All right, Angeline?
Is there something I can help you with, detective?
Your maman did not describe their friendship with the Major in such a positive light.
You have got the wrong end of the stick, detective. Maman has snapped at him recently, but it was nothing more than that. It was something to do with the letter. I heard them in the library before Maman shouted and he stormed out of the room past me.
Could it have been the blackmail letter that instigated their argument?
Why would Maman be upset with him over the letter?
Madame is of a very different opinion from yourself regarding his connection with the letters. She believes him to be the author.
That is what she told you? She has always been one to make a quick, if not rash decision, but she cannot truly believe that.
Was the Major aware you had paid the first blackmail letter?
I don't recall telling him directly. I did not want Maman to find out it had been paid. If he knew, surely she would.
Madame believes he may have been behind all the letters, and taking your payment of the first, then used it to pay the second and be the hero in you and your mother's eyes.
I never knew Maman had such an imagination. Where would she get a story like that from?
That is a question I was hoping you may be able to answer.
You have met him. Do you really think he's capable of such a devious plan?
It is a plan only the most crooked and underhanded could create. Is that the Major? I am not so sure.
The more I think on Madame's story, the more ridiculous and obscure it sounds, but that does not mean it can be ruled out.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
All right. All right, so Angeline assumes right now that Cassandra, the reason she's blaming the Major is because she's not happy with him. So let's try to link
I
those.
cannot see the logic in this.
So maybe Cassandra wasn't happy with the Major because they were fighting. He had a temper.
This will not get me any...
Nope. Okay. I'm going to zoom out just a second here to kind of see who... Oh, Rehana's down here now. Rehana said the Major didn't thank her. She's worked with the family for years. She took ice to the Major of her own accord. And then, of course... So they don't have the piece that they said in the thing that, where Archibald is the one that said that the Major requested the ice himself. So we can't link those two together. Who else do we have on here? So Gideon as well. So maybe we could have linked these two. So the Major had a temper, might be why Angeline is questioning her motives.
I must act on thought and fact.
Okay. Well, those are an interesting two to link. So what's flashing is Cassandra wasn't happy with the Major and Gideon paid it off. It'll be interesting to see the rationale behind this link.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
I wonder if the blackmail had a greater effect on their relationship than expected. Okay, so we're going to talk to Angeline again.
Is there something I can help you with, Detective?
Was the arrival of the blackmail letter what caused the tension in Madame and the Major's relationship?
I'm afraid it had been that way for some time. Maman is not forthcoming with her emotions, as I'm sure you are aware, but I could tell she had not been happy with their arrangement for the last few months.
What gave you that impression?
There was not one particular thing that she expressed, it was just the way she spoke to him and of him when he wasn't present.
Okay.
I shall not keep you any longer.
I believe I've gathered everything that is required. Monsieur Sterling will be able to assist me in gaining access to the Major's study. All right, Archibald. Let's go.
Whatever you need, Detective.
I wish to inspect the Major's study again.
Certainly, Detective.
The room is still a crime scene and should have remained untouched, but it looks as though it has been ransacked. Oh my. It surely does. I hadn't actually looked. I saw this piece of paper on the floor, but I didn't see all these letters over here. And okay, I requested Monsieur Sterling to have the body wrapped and moved, which has been done, thankfully. What else has gone on in here? All right, so other than the enormous pile of stuff on the floor. This is not a roaring fire anymore, unfortunately. Oh, the safe's open. Okay. Oh, here's a letter. Someone was obviously looking for something in particular in the Major's documents. These accounts have been thoroughly rifled through. So I think they said that the only people that had access to the safe were Felix, the Madame, Cassandra's her name, I couldn't think of it, and Felix, or I'm sorry, Archibald. Okay, so who got in the safe? The Major has recently taken out a large loan and the interest rate is astronomical. That's weird. Okay. Empty envelopes.
Huh.
Addressed to the Major with no return address. Were these for, you know, future ransom letters that he intended to write? Here's another... There's something on the floor here. Oh, photograph.
Oh.
I must admit, side by side, there is a striking resemblance between... I don't know what this French phrase is. Yeah, I see here, well, only 2 people have keys, but remember there was a third person. Perhaps such flattery is the way to win over Madame Vandenbosch. Okay. Oh, cute. Oh. The photo's ripped. I'm assuming this was the Edwin, the Viscount, that had been sitting here once upon a time. Unless... What if Felix was actually Angeline's father, and that's why he's so nice to her all the time? Wouldn't that be an interesting twist? Dun dun dun. Okay. How strange, the Viscount was also present in the picture, but has been folded out. I did not think there was any hostility between the Major and the late Viscount. Alright. Safe. Oh, sealed letter. How strange. I could not access this yesterday, but now it has been left wide open. Scratches are obvious around the lock. Someone in this house was eager to see the safe's contents. Well, if there's scratches around the lock, maybe it's somebody that actually just knows how to open a safe. Maybe it's somebody that didn't have direct access. A half-sealed letter addressed to Madame Vandenbosch from the Major. I'm not one to read others' private mail, but under the circumstances... My dearest Cassandra, it feels as though it has been ages, or has been an age, since I have been able to set my eyes on you, a day I have waited for so impatiently. I keep the photograph of us together at the lake close to my heart, always. I cannot wait to see how young Angeline has grown. Her beauty will surely soon reach that of her mother's. Yeah, this is sounding like it's going the direction. I hope the gifts from the Orient reach you fine. They are really something to behold. The work that has kept me away for so long is drawing to a close, and I will be returning to the continent within the month. At your request, I found accommodation in the city. It pains me to think of being so close and yet unable to be with you every moment, but if it eases your worry, I shall not continue to question it. I will arrange for a visit to the house. An old friend returning will surely raise minimal suspicions. This is very devious. I understand that the Viscount is also currently out of country. I hope you have not felt the strain of loneliness take over, and it will not be long until we are reunited. Until that day, until the end of mine, my heart is yours, Major Felix Hagen. So they were definitely something. There was something to their relationship before the Viscount passed away. It seems there's a great deal of Madame Vandenbosch and the Major's relationship that she has withheld. It is clear from this letter that their affection for one another has been more than that of friendship for some time. The mention of young Angeline suggests that it may go back as far as 20 years. Alright, we have all of these things. Alright. Mind map. 2 more links. So Angeline knew the Major well. And obviously the torn photograph shows Angeline. That's why she knew him so well, is because she's known him for so long.
I must take a different approach if I am to
Okay, maybe not. Oh, here's the... Okay, let me back out just a second here. So we've added the loan note, the sealed letter, the torn photograph. Just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything else. All right, so the loan note is here. It's a high interest rate. Okay. Presumably this would be somehow related to the ransom value, the large sum of money in the loan.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
So that does seem to suggest that what Cassandra was saying. So Angeline might be under a wrong impression. It may actually have the way that Cassandra said that he was using the ransom money to pay off his loan. The Major paid the letter that was addressed to him. He must have been worried enough that something would be released to the public. But, oh, wait. The Major paid the letter. He used the loan. He took out a loan to pay the ransom. Interesting. That, okay, not what I put together. The Major paid the blackmail ransom. Well, Cassandra didn't want any... Where's my... There it is. Cassandra didn't want any of the stuff paid, maybe...
Is there something I am not...
Nope. Not that. I mean, I guess theoretically, Angeline and Cassandra could link to this. The fact that the Major fell in love with her, he had the picture.
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
Steph, I said that like 5 minutes ago. I suggested that she's maybe the daughter. All right. Nothing's flashing at this point. Maybe the Major paid the ransom because he was in love with Cassandra?
I cannot see the logic in this.
Of course, it did... Oh, here we go. Angeline is attached to the Major. Oh, so they attached it this way. I see. So it's still... We had mentioned this earlier. I attached it maybe different. Oh, I attached it with Angeline knew the Major well. With the photo of Angeline and Cassandra, they're attaching it to this item.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
The hidden photos of them along with Angeline's attachment to him proves he cared deeply for them. Oh, now there's another link. The Major cared about Cassandra and Angeline. I mean, that could theoretically, because he was in love with Cassandra.
Order and method. That...
Maybe also the fact that they had relationship issues is what it wants to tie it to.
Magnifique.
There we go. I believe the Major would do everything to remain in the comfortable life he's accustomed to, but would he stoop so low as to fake a blackmail letter? Well, that would be dumb since he paid it.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
The evidence shows the Major was not the author of the blackmail letter. The Major was a victim, just like Mademoiselle Angeline. Whoever it is that is penning these letters knows a great deal about many people. I wonder how many more have received similar letters. Ooh. All right, nothing from these. The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. 2 cases of extortion under one roof. The question of their relationship must be asked. Yes, 2 extortion and 1 murder. The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon to find. If the correct process is followed, they shall be found swiftly. I should take my leave. This room has already revealed enough new insights into the Madame's and Major's lives.
Detective Poirot, I have been asked to inform you that Lady Vandenbosch has returned to her room, and she wishes not to be disturbed.
Merci. Madame certainly has mastered the art of subtlety.
They may not be the exact words she used, but I'm sure you can imagine. Excuse me, I have some further duties to attend to in the pantry.
Perhaps I should take this opportunity to search the top floor now there is no one to disturb me. There's one room that holds particular interest. I should inspect the storage room while I have this rare opportunity. So is this the very, very top floor that we've never been able to go to before? Maybe it is. Oh. I can go in there? They told me not to. Painting. There are a number of spectacular pieces in Madame Vandenbosch's eclectic art collection. A painting of a boat sailing across a vast ocean. The artist is clearly very talented. All right. That's Angeline and Gideon's bedroom.
Huh.
A painting of an atmospheric forest scene. The artist captured the ambiance of the forest perfectly. A painting of a majestic mountain, the tip of which pierces the clouds above. The attention to detail is fantastic. Oh. Achievement unlocked. Exquisite artwork. I did briefly check into the achievements between episodes at one point, and I did know that you apparently get like an achievement for looking out all of the windows in the house and stuff. So I was just kind of looking at everything because you don't know whether it's actually a clue or if it's just locked, if it's just tied to an achievement. Collection of books. I could spend every waking moment reading about the adventures of the characters within these books. That's the mystery novels. Ooh, telescope. Gazing at the stars is truly one of life's simple pleasures. Oh, here's the storeroom. Guess we might as well go in here. We can finish looking around after we come back out. There's a whole lot of paintings that are not on walls. Children's toys.
Oh.
A collection of children's toys. Such a shame to see them stored away and not being enjoyed. Considering they have been kept in a storage room, they are in almost perfect condition. My immediate assumption would be they belong to Mademoiselle Angeline. There's a bastard child somewhere, isn't there? These are new toys for bastard child, and they don't want they don't want it getting out into the news that somebody's got a child. Grandfather clock. The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. Another book. A lonely storybook rests here. It has obviously been read a great number of times, judging by the condition of the spine and pages. I am perhaps not the target demographic, but I understand it to be quite popular amongst the younger audience. Are you looking at a Twilight book? To the real lady of the house, happy birthday. Watching you grow into a proper young lady has been more than words can describe. All my love, Felix. I told you there's something to do with a child. It's either that this is penned to Angeline when she was younger, or there's another kid. I would not have expected to find such a heartfelt message written by Monsieur Hagen and to Mademoiselle Angeline. Is this the usual inscription you would find from a family friend? Did it actually say to Angeline in it? I cannot seem to get a straight answer from anyone regarding the Major. I know he has been friends with Madame Vandenbosch for some years, but I must find out if it was anything more. Whoa. This is quite the new mind. Let me see. So we've got the torn photograph over here with the Viscount's image torn out, and it shows Angeline and Cassandra. Then we've got the sealed letter that was unsent where the Major confessed his love for Cassandra. We've got all the empty envelopes that were addressed to the Major. The loan note where he took out a loan with a large sum of money and a high interest rate. The children's toys. The Major is innocent. The Major resided with the family for a long time. and he was attached. Angeline was attached. Might explain why he was innocent.
Come, my little grey cells.
Angeline attached to the Major because he cared about Cassandra and Angeline.
I must take a different approach if...
Okay, maybe that's why he resided with them.
I cannot see the logic in this.
Okay. Let me zoom out here. Oh, the Major resided with the family for a long time is going to be linked to a high interest rate? Okay, if you say so.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
It seems the Major has lived rather comfortably in the Vandenbosch house for many years. Talk to Angeline. You like the Twilight joke? Alright, anything else up on this top floor that we've never looked at? Where do you go? The Major's bedroom. Guys, I'm gonna do it. Is she gonna be PO'd that I'm in here? Perfume bottles? These perfume bottles look rather expensive. It would be wise to be very careful with them. Here's a window. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Oh, we're just gonna dig in her drawers. Okay, great. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. I can't imagine digging through her collection of, pantyhose is probably gonna give you much. No. Hello? Fireplace? A roaring fire. I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. Another bust. Collection of art extends further than just paintings. Yes. All right. Cassandra?
Detective Poirot, what do you think you are doing in here?
Snooping?
I have something I wish to discuss with you.
Well, I hope it is important enough to justify barging into one's bedroom.
Well, if you had not barricaded yourself in here, I could talk to you in the hallway.
I assure you it is.
Good, because this has gone on far too long. We are snowed in this house while a murderer runs amok.
I can understand your frustrations, but it is not as simple.
You were once an incompetent officer, and now it seems you are just as incompetent as a detective.
If I was not being lied to and misled at every turn, perhaps the murderer would already be in custody.
I hope you are not suggesting I had something to do with Felix's murder.
I am suggesting that if I had the support that everyone claims they are offering, we would be in a very different situation.
If you have something you want to ask, I suggest you ask me now.
I was not aware the Major had been so close to your daughter.
We met before Angeline was born, so he was often at the house when she was growing up.
And where was it you two met?
I was attending an event. Felix was also in attendance as a serving officer. A conversation was struck.
So it was not through the Viscount that you two met?
I did not require my husband to start conversations on my behalf.
It was you that instigated it then?
My, detective. That active imagination of yours has taken you on quite some journey.
Madame is attempting to deflect from a subject she obviously does not feel comfortable discussing. The late Viscount and the Major were surely friends then?
Edwin spent much of his time away on business before Angeline was born. Felix was a welcome distraction from the loneliness of the house.
You were alone in the house?
The staff continued their duties, of course, but trying to get any sort of sophisticated or cultured conversation from them was like drawing blood from a stone.
And when Angeline was born?
Edwin remained at home. It was his duty as a father.
And the Major?
He had his own business and life to tend to, but we remained in touch via letter. Around the time of Edwin's passing, Felix had relocated to the area.
Madame is incredibly coy and brief with the information she offers, but with the Viscount's death coinciding with the Major's return, surely a mere coincidence is too far-fetched. I would like to ask you about a letter I found in the Major's study.
I'm sure he has hundreds of letters in there. Most of them could and should have been thrown away a long time ago. You are going to have to be more specific.
I refer to the letter addressed to you, the one of a romantic nature.
Romantic nature? Oh, please, Detective. Felix did not have a romantic bone in his body.
He made his intentions quite clear in the letter. I must admit I myself was surprised.
You really do have quite the active imagination, Detective. If that is how you wish to interpret it, so be it. But I can assure you, the Major did not think of me that way, and certainly did not include it in a letter.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
Okay. Whoops. We were supposed to go talk to you, Angeline, I believe. Did that give us any more links in our mind map before we wander too far? Because we probably will have to talk to her again, right? Yeah, definitely gave us another link here. So Cassandra claims the Major didn't love her. Cassandra met the Major before Angeline's birth. The Major returned after the Viscount's death. She claims that he didn't love her, and he has a letter that confesses that he did.
Order and method.
Oh, you know what? The letter's unsent. That's the problem.
This will not get me any closer to my
Okay.
goal.
You dirty, rotten game. Maybe Cassandra met Major before Angeline's birth explains the picture?
Come, my little grey cells.
Oh. Those are two weird ones to link up, aren't they? Angeline and Cassandra in the torn photograph, and he links to the Cassandra claiming the Major didn't love her. So this still could maybe lead back to the fact that maybe his infatuation was actually with Angeline? Like creepy stepdad kind of way?
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
It is obvious that the Major cared for Cassandra. That is no surprise to anyone. Oh, yeah, see, we gotta talk to Cassandra again. Good I didn't wander too far.
Is this really necessary?
If you are correct and the Major had no romantic feelings towards you, why would he keep a photograph of you and Mademoiselle Angeline hidden?
He may have stayed in my home, but Felix was a grown man, Detective. What he kept, hidden or otherwise, has nothing to do with me.
Well, except you're in the picture.
But it does not surprise you that he had such a photograph?
We have been friends, and he has been there for Angeline for many years, but you find it strange that he keeps a reminder of us? Perhaps that says more about you, Detective.
What I do find strange is that if he did hold a flame for you, why he would never express it.
If he did, it was not reciprocated. I have not even considered another since my husband's passing. Not that it is any of your business.
I think
Okay.
that is all for...
Let's exit and go talk to Angeline. Who's... where, do you suppose? I mean, she was in the lobby at one point. Perhaps it is time to speak with Mademoiselle Angeline again. She should be able to give us the valuable pieces of this puzzle. Oh, here she is, right here.
Detective Poirot, are you any closer to uncovering the truth of Felix's involvement with the letters?
I am, mademoiselle. I can confirm that he was not the author of the blackmail letters.
So the author is still out there.
Oui, but it will not be long before they are apprehended, and the only letters they shall be penning will be from behind iron bars.
It's very confident.
Your confidence is rather assuring. Thank you, Detective.
Your comment about the current guests stayed with me last night.
I'm sorry, Detective. I did not intend to leave your mind so full of thoughts.
No apology is required. It actually made me question my whole chain of thinking. What if there had been a collusion between them, and the Major's murder was planned, organized, and orchestrated to make the investigation seem almost impossible?
Oh my, detective, that is quite a theory.
Every guest has a motive. You confirmed that with the mention of Mademoiselle Conrad and the Major's fight. Supplying one another with a rock-solid alibi would surely throw off any detective.
But not you.
Correct, mademoiselle. It would take much more to stamp Detective Poirot.
While searching the storage room, I found a book that I assume was a gift from the Major to you. Might have been about vampires?
I haven't seen that book in so long. Yes, it was a gift for my 10th birthday. I have read it from cover to cover countless times. He left such a lovely inscription too.
It sounds as though there is a side to the Major I did not get to see. Was it common for him to bring you gifts?
Not common, but if he had been away for some time, he would bring me a small memento from his travels. He hasn't done that in some time, though.
The toys that were with the book, were they also gifts from the Major?
They were. I'm afraid they may have gathered some dust being in the storage room for so long. I kept them in hope of giving them to my child when the time comes.
It sounds as though he had always cared about you.
His presence at the house was comforting for us both after Father died, even if sometimes he was a little too overprotective.
You spoke last night of the Major's support of your mama.
That's right. Ever since I can remember, Felix has been around.
It seems as though she has a number of support networks. The Major, her friendship with the Countess, not forgetting Monsieur da Silva.
Maman has many friends. I know how she may seem to most, but once you break the hard shell...
There is a further shell waiting to be broken?
Oh, very good, detective.
Forgive me, mademoiselle.
It's quite all right. You're not the only one that feels a razor tongue. She's grateful you are here, especially now, whether she shows it or not.
I'm still yet to see this version of Madame that Mademoiselle Angeline speaks of. I'm not sure I will get my hopes up for a budding friendship. Speaking with the Comtesse yesterday, she did not have the greatest opinion of the Major.
They have often come to blows when it concerns Maman. They are both trying to protect her, but they themselves cannot seem to get along.
She spoke of his desire to join the, how do you describe it? Social elite.
This isn't the first time she has vocalized that concern. She thinks the Major was just using our family name to make his way to the top.
And you do not agree?
I will not deny he has shown interest in Maman's social circles, but they have been friends since even before I was born. Surely all those years of friendship was not just to raise his social standing.
They've been friends since before she was born. Mademoiselle Angeline obviously does not believe what the Comtesse had to say about the Major. Perhaps it is jealousy that drives her scandalous theory. If I may be so bold, did the Major contribute to the house?
How do you mean, detective?
I imagine a house of this size is rather costly, keeping it in the immaculate condition it is in.
Maman looks after the financial side of the house, but I think she has had to ask him more than once for a contribution of sorts. It is not for me to get involved.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
I have everything that is needed to push Madame Vandenbosch on her secret. Guess that means we're going back upstairs. That's, I'm assuming, what we're doing here? No. We don't have a conversation option because we've got to do the mind links first. Alright, so... we talked to Angeline. So the Madame kept the Major around, but the Major hasn't helped financially. And Cassandra has no romantic feelings towards him. But Angeline is attached to the Major. So maybe Madame kept the Major around because he cared for them?
I must act on thought and...
Nope. What is this thing up in this corner? Oh, the storybook. So he cared about Angeline and Cassandra, which would be why he gave a birthday gift.
Is there something I am not...
Of course, there's a gift on the other side as well, so maybe it links to this one instead.
Is there something I...
Okay, I've got 2 mind links, and I've got 4 things blinking here. The Major returned after the Viscount's death is one of them, and Cassandra had no romantic feelings. The Major hasn't helped financially, and a previous birthday gift. Maybe these 2?
Another success. I never doubted myself.
So I connected the Major returned after the Viscount's death and the previous birthday gift. With the Viscount gone, the Major stepped up and acted as a fatherly figure to her. And then, of course, we had these 2. So Cassandra has no romantic feelings towards the Major, and the Major hasn't helped in the house financially.
What a revelation.
As much as she tries to deny it, Cassandra shared the Major's feelings in some capacity. Oh, I see, because she claimed she had no romantic feelings, but he doesn't help financially, so what is his other purpose in the house? All right, talk to Cassandra.
Is this really necessary?
Push on why Cassandra has housed the Major for so long.
Who I allow in my house is none of your business. I do not have to explain anything to you.
This is what I mentioned before with Margot. This shield pops up. We have to apparently get the correct conversation options to break it down.
I did not think you were one for charity.
I would not expect you to think much of anything. There is no need to talk on it any further, but I'm sure you will remember that, financially speaking, we have had our issues.
I have all the evidence I need to confront Madame Vandenbosch. It is my approach to the questions that I must consider. She will no doubt be defensive when pushed, but that may be the only way, as she will not give up any information she does not want to easily. So he's suggesting I need to push her. So probably we'll have to go with forceful, whatever that happens to be. So suggestive says, and yet you allowed the Major to reside here even without contributing. Whereas forceful says, why is it you protect the name of Monsieur Hagen so resolutely? All right, let's go forceful.
He was a man that required no protection, Detective. Especially from me.
So this background, it flashed green for a second. Does that mean we got the right... We picked the right one? Okay.
That is the impression I had of him, which is why your defensive stance warrants questioning.
Your insistent questioning on such trivial matters are getting on my last nerve. There is a murderer and a blackmailer to be found. That is your job here.
So then we've got antagonizing and suggestive. So antagonizing is his declarations of love meant nothing to you then, and suggestive, judging by the Major's words in the letter, it was not not the only one that he sent declaring his love. All right, so I guess again, suggestive seems maybe a little too polite for her, so let's antagonize her. His declarations of love meant nothing to you then?
Your continued probing into something that does not exist is becoming quite tiresome.
Talking to you is always tiresome, so I feel your pain.
There is nothing I can tell you that will magically present what you are looking for, Detective. I have grown weary of this conversation, Poirot. There is nothing more to say.
Ooh, now we've got direct and forceful. There is something about your relationship that you are obviously refusing to elaborate on. The love letters, the housing. And forceful, your continued reluctance to answer my questions in a defensive nature suggests that there is shared love between you. Oh, guys. Director forceful. I'm leaning towards forceful again, just because it says forceful, but if I was picking without these little prompts here between that say direct and forceful, I probably would have picked this one. There's something about your relationship that you're obviously refusing to elaborate on. The love letters, the housing. All right. Steph agrees. Forceful. I guess we'll go forceful. Your continued reluctance to answer... Seriously, guys? Your continued reluctance to answer my questions in defensive nature suggests that there was a shared love between you. Okay, she does nothing.
Madame, you continue to withhold the truth.
And you continue to get on my last nerve. I am not obliged to tell you every detail of my private life.
But when it impedes my investigation...
If only you were this focused on finding the blackmailer and...
Madame.
Very well.
Ooh,
I did
we got
not
it.
lie about how we met. I was attending an event, raising money for... Oh, I cannot recall now.
Whoops, I was muted there. I was just saying that it does look like we broke the shield there. I don't know if you actually saw it, but the shield broke, so I think we got through. So she's now divulging information we need.
It had been some time since I had returned home, and was rather missing English soil. I was aware of Felix's invitation, or at least that there was to be several British officers attending the party, and that is where our friendship began. He was a warm reminder of home, and I enjoyed conversing with him. We shared walks in the park and read together. As I said, he was a welcome distraction from the days spent alone. I shall go no further with the details, but I will say, I had no intention on being unfaithful to my husband. It was never our plan to go that far.
What?
Once I found out I was pregnant, I knew it had to stop.
Wait, she didn't say who the father was. Spit it out, Cassandra!
The Viscount never questioned Mademoiselle's birth?
In his mind, he had no reason to, and he shouldn't have had to. It was my mistake to bear. If he knew the truth, our lives would have been ruined.
She's the bastard child!
I told Felix that he was to stay away, but he had no intention to. He became an uncle figure to Angeline, and they grew closer after Edwin's death.
Mm-hmm.
I could not tell her the truth. Too much time had passed. The secret remained only between him and I. Until now.
And what were the Major's thoughts on revealing the truth?
He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted her to know exactly who he was. But I told him no. It would not have been the poignant reconciliation that he expected. She would not understand.
Did you see the shiny achievement? Alright, tell me about the letters.
I tried to retrieve them from the safe after everyone had retired last night. But when I opened the safe, they were nowhere to be found. I assumed he must have hidden them somewhere else.
When I entered the study this morning, they were as visible as a red notice on a police station wall.
I would appreciate if you did not compare them to the face of a wanted felon.
Pardon, madame.
But that does mean someone else in the house has seen them. I don't understand. Why would they return them?
Because they want the information to get out.
A mystery that is still yet to be solved.
Madame was beaten to the safe by another. It seems we also have a thief within these walls to add to the list of criminals, but a thief that returns their spoils. Can I assume this is the secret that has been used for ransom?
It must be, but I have told no one.
And the Major?
Felix promised me he wouldn't tell a soul, and I believed him. What, even if he wanted to?
Somebody found out maybe... Well, I was going to say maybe Gideon, but I don't know why Gideon would be blackmailing his family. His future family, anyway. If the Major had let slip even once throughout the years, perhaps in an intoxicated state, it is a secret that many would seek an opportunity to gain from.
You did not think anyone knew, and that is why you disregarded the letter.
If you bow to these criminals, they will only try to claw more from you.
Got
I
it.
think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. 2 cases of extortion under one roof. The question of their relationship must be asked. The Major... We already asked that question. The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon defined. If the correct processes we've read all of these prompts before. They seem to be kind of flowing in at the inappropriate time. If the correct process is followed, they shall all be found swiftly. I should take my leave. This room has already revealed enough new insights to the Madame's and the Major's lives. I had my suspicions that Madame Vandenbosch and the Major shared a romantic relationship, but I did not expect the revelation of his connection to Mademoiselle Angeline. He's a terrible detective, guys. We had this figured out, 15 minutes ago? I'm now one of the very few that hold Madame's secret. Alright, so this mind map is complete. Do we have another one yet? That one's complete, and nothing for these. Okay. Archibald? What? I assume that you're up here because I'm supposed to talk to you, because you weren't here before.
Detective Poirot, how is your investigation coming?
Monsieur Sterling, I must admit, I have learned much more than I was expecting to.
You'll be wrapping the case up soon, then?
You seem a little anxious for me to get out of here.
One has never finished learning, monsieur, and in this case, I shall need to continue if I am to find the Major's killer.
I did see him wiping the dust from his shoulder again this time.
It might help to vocalize your thinking. I'm all ears.
Ugh, this is a terrible idea. Do not divulge the details of the case to somebody who I'm starting to grow more and more suspicious of. Monsieur Sterling offers an interesting concept. If I was to state the current position of my investigation while holding back certain truths, the guilty parties may realize I am hot on their heels and reveal their hand.
Monsieur, would you gather the guests and staff in the salon?
Right away, Detective. Can I ask for what reason?
I shall reveal all once everyone is together.
Yay, another shiny achievement. Oh, we're on chapter 6. Ooh, Hugo's playing the piano. Well, this is legitimately everyone. Look, even the staff is here. This looks like Rihanna. Is this,
Detective, what is the meaning of all this?
Madame, I ask that you all lend me your ears for only a few moments. What I have to say is of great significance to everyone. You are all invited here to celebrate the engagement of Mademoiselle Angeline Vandenbosch and Monsieur Gideon Demire, the coming together of 2 prevalent families. But the celebrations were short-lived, as Major Felix Hagen was found dead in his study by a young servant of the house. It then became my responsibility and obligation as a detective to uncover the truth behind his demise. My initial examination of his study exposed a number of things I did not expect to find. Things I have no desire to divulge at this time, but what I can say is this. It was no simple murder. A letter demanding ransom for a continued silence confirmed this. I am sure some, if not all of you, have heard whispers of a series of blackmails that have plagued the social elite in recent weeks. After hearing of the letters in the Major's study, you may ask if it was him behind the letters. You may further ask if he was preparing his next threat to another unsuspecting victim. It is a question that crossed even my mind. That was until I sought the truth. That in fact it was the Major that had fallen victim to our blackmailer Mystérieux. Last night I spoke with you all, confirmed your whereabouts in the house over the course of the evening, and while I would have expected such questioning to reveal a potential suspect, what I learned was that it could not have been one of you.
What do you mean, not one of us? The man was stabbed. He hardly did that to himself. There is still a killer in the house.
Pardon, monsieur, if you would allow me to finish. It could not have been only one of you. Rather a partnership, in cahoots, if you will. Conversations today have revealed facts that I was not expecting to discover. And although they may have muddied and complicated my investigation, what I must do to bring the guilty parties to justice has become clearer. Those of you that spun stories in an attempt to confuse and derail my investigation have made a grave mistake in underestimating my intelligence. Other detectives may fall for such deception, but I can assure you, Detective Poirot is no such fool. My investigation is far from over, and swift justice shall be dealt to those that have committed such appalling acts and have continued to mislead and lie to protect themselves. Now, I must continue mon enquête, and I shall leave you to consider that you may be beside a cold-hearted killer. Bonsoir. Monsieur Sterling, un moment.
Quite the speech, Detective.
Merci, but it was not made to entertain, more to warn the guilty parties that I am hot on their heels, no matter how clever they believe themselves to be.
Well, if there is anything I can do.
I'd like to search the guest bedrooms. When you returned to the study last night, did you notice anything different from the previous visit? There's a matter regarding the contest that we must discuss. 1 second here.
Merci, monsieur.
I wanted to check something. Yeah. Were we already in... Oh, we were already in Chapter 6. I was thinking we had just finished Chapter 6. Well, I don't want to probably start another investigation. We've been streaming here for pretty long, and I imagine that, that those of you that are in chat probably would like to, head off for the evening. So probably... I forgot this is a point and click as well. Anyways, so what we'll probably do is we will probably call this episode here, and then when we start back up next time, we will talk to Archibald and hopefully try to finish Chapter 6, maybe get through... I think, like I said, that I looked it up, and I think there's supposed to be 9 chapters. So we are getting closer to the end. We're starting to uncover more mysteries and just like conniving little plots and those kinds of things. And so hopefully we will soon be able to find out the entire story, and it will all make sense. So anyways, we just finished 5? Maybe we did just finish 5. Are you sure? Because I think that we had already been in the search. I think the search is what was called when we started with Madame Vandenbosch, when we went to talk to her about all of this stuff about Angeline. I'm not sure. But like I said, hopefully we can finish Chapter 6 next time, and maybe Chapter 7. I suspect probably 2 more episodes at most, maybe even only 1, depending on how quickly they go. Each of the chapters tends to have a little bit of weight to it, so probably 2. But anyways, we will jump back into that next time. So right now, I'm going to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and comment. Also subscribe so that you get notified of future videos. But for now, my name is Hawk, and this has been Agatha Christie's the Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot is the best I can do for the title. So anyways, thanks you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.